The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey.
What?
Let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pink.
Stop! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this International Wednesday, March 5th, 2025. This program starts now. Sports are the greatest, and we're lucky to talk about them every single day right here on this program. The fact that you watch, we are eternally grateful for. Now, today is International Wednesday because we got a guest on from Saudi Arabia.
Wow.
Hey.
What? That's cool.
Huh? That's a long way away.
Long way away.
Now, obviously, that particular country has been a topic of conversation in the sports world in America over the last few years. You know, Live Golf obviously came in, and it was its thing, and then PGA was grandstanding, and now PGA is doing business. I mean, there's a lot that has happened over the last few years, especially with that country trying to catch up, it seems like, with the world. The company that I get to work with, very, very fortunate to, the company that I've been a fan of my entire life, the WWE in Saudi Arabia have done wonderful work together, not only empowering women and entertainment and showcase, but giving just like the advancements of society. I think that WWE superstars who have been over there since the first show years ago until now would tell you is like, hey, there's a big, big positive story happening here, even though everybody wants to kind of seek out the negative all the time. Now, with the advancement of the relationship between WWE and Saudi Arabia and UFC in Saudi Arabia, now they have come together to create a boxing entity, a promotion, and it was announced earlier this morning that TKO will obviously team up with Big Turkey Al-Sheikh, who is the chairman of the Islamic Solidarity Sports Federation. That's the name.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a long name. But nonetheless, they have launched a boxing entity. I saw Dana on First Take earlier today, chit-chatting about it, talking about how he wants to say boxing started in boxing. He said he's been trashing boxing over the last few years. Now it's time for him to get a chance to get back in there. He said he wants the best fighters fighting the best fighters. He said we're not going to have 15 different world champions. We're going to try to make it just, one thing. He's going to try to make boxing beautiful like he has done with the UFC. Now, he obviously is going to have his detractors in the fight world, and I respect that. That happens in everywhere. It's a combative sport. People are going to be against each other. But I think Dana has a track record of being able to create stars, create buzz, and create moments. I assume he's going to be able to do that with boxing, especially with the backing of not only Turkey, but also Nick Khan and the WWE helping as a piece of this, let alone Ari Emanuel, Mark Shapiro, all the powers that be that are kind of combining to maybe save a sport, make a sport bigger than it's ever been. It's a beautiful thing. We can't wait to chit-chat with Turkey and Dana in the second hour, but it's International Wednesday.
That's right.
Let's go.
Hey, that's I don't know if our programs necessarily want us to be doing it, but I'm telling you, things are going to come out of the convo. Hashtag journalism is going to take place, and cannot wait to talk about maybe this sport of boxing. What are we betting on the younger boxers on who's going to be good and trying to create stars? Are we using older stars? How are you going to go ahead and garner a roster, and how are you going to piece together these fights? I'm excited to hear what Dana says. And also, I want to know why TKO Group was the group that you teamed up with from Turkey, because I assume there's a lot of people that wanted that deal. Big deal announced. That's going to send, stock markets.
Without a doubt.
That's going to be.
Oh, yeah.
Are they going to do any influencer fighting? I doubt it. I doubt it.
I don't know.
Also, in about 13 minutes or so, we have Osa Odighizuwa, who just signed a $80 million contract with the Dallas Cowboys out of UCLA. Didn't know much about him, to be honest, because the Dallas Cowboys conversation revolved around a lot of things other than this particular man. Number 2 in pressures last year for interior defensive linemen, a game wrecker. And obviously, Jerry Jones Jr. and the Dallas Cowboys said, we need to keep this guy in with a star on his helmet. They gave him a shit ton of money. Congrats to him. Can't wait to talk to him. From what I've been told, fan of the program.
Nice.
Knows the program.
Okay.
Multiple people reach out and go like, hey, when Osa's deal gets done. So this was something I think that was kind of in the last week or two, kind of getting done. He wants to come on the show. Would you have him on the show? And I didn't know who the hell he was. I felt like a terrible person. I felt like such a bad person. I was like, let me look him up. The guy is an absolute beast. And you listen to his story, it's like what he's been able to fight through, both everything. And then you think about what he was as a high school wrestler at Boston Connor. What was his records as a high school wrestler?
He was 46-0 his junior year, 45-0 his senior year, and he won three straight state championships in Oregon his sophomore, junior, and senior year.
So that's as a wrestler, and then obviously he does his thing in football. Now he's made $80 million on a gridiron. I mean, what an athletic success story. Cannot wait to talk to him. And what the hell's going on down there in Dallas? Oh, so I got a couple of questions. What the hell's going on down there? You guys giving tours around the building whenever you're in there, and how do you handle it? Do you got to do the handshake? Do you got to do hello? Do you feel like you do got to dance for the people walking through your practice facility? Nobody else does it. Feels like your winning percentage gets shitty. Legit. How everybody's trying to keep information in their building and not let any of it out. Dallas Cowboys are just giving tours through their practice facility, through the workouts and everything like that. Obviously, they make a lot of money. It's a great business. But you have to be a cowboy to be a cowboy. You don't just get dropped in there and you got a one-way mirror with a tour of 10 people that paid for a ticket watching you work out, and it's just like literally you're a zoo exhibit. That's not happening anywhere else in the middle of the season. Maybe in the off-season they get sponsors to walk through. Middle of the season, that's not happening. So I want to ask Osa why he feels like he's a great Dallas Cowboy too. That should be fantastic. And then we have AQ Shipley joining us because there has been some massive news that has happened this morning in the NFL already. And obviously, I'm not alone in this particular conversation. I got a lot better brains around me. But this morning, Joe Thuney, absolute stud from, fame up in the Patriots and then goes to the Kansas City Chiefs. He's an all-pro guard, a future Hall of Fame guard. Whenever they couldn't figure out the left tackle position, Thuney said, you know what, Reed? Put me out there. I'll go play tackle. Finish the season with the Kansas City Chiefs as a left tackle, even though his body says you are a guard, you're an all-pro guard. Obviously, they thought that the guy that filled in for him whenever he was playing tackle was sufficient enough, or maybe he played okay enough ball that we can get rid of this guy. And now Chicago, over the last 24 hours, has invested a 2025 sixth-round pick, 2026 fourth-round pick, for two offensive linemen that are going to immediately upgrade a terrible position group that they had last year in Caleb Williams' first year. So if you think about these moves, you think about Ben Johnson, he's coming from Detroit. He's got great plays.
Oh, yeah.
Shit doesn't work, though, if you don't have any protection.
Bingo.
Detroit Lions had one of the best offensive lines in all of ball.
Oh, yeah.
So Jared Goff, who isn't that mobile, was able to do his thing. So Ben Johnson even talked about having a quarterback that can extend plays. It's the first time I've ever really done that. And people are like, that's a shot at Jared Goff. It's like, you're kind of taking it as a shot at Caleb Williams if you're trying to compare the mobility of Caleb Williams and Jared Goff. I think ipso facto, you just took a shot at Caleb Williams for thinking that was a shot at Jared Goff, because there is obviously a much better mobile quarterback than the other in Jared Goff. I'm not saying Caleb Williams is anywhere near what Jared Goff is, both breaking down a defense, understanding the offense with accuracy, making decisions, leading a team. I'm not saying any of that. What Jared Goff has done is his own thing. But Caleb is a mobile quarterback. So if we get that offensive line just a little bit good, and then we're able to go ahead and let Caleb cook, Ben Johnson probably has these fantasies of turning the Chicago Bears team into something they've never been. Zito, you got to be pumped about what you're seeing. Investing in the offensive line immediately sends that's a good message to me, I think, and to all of Chicago. Like, hey, first of all, probably going to be physical in Chicago, and also we're going to protect Caleb and make him have an opportunity to be great.
We are the kings of the offseason, but the Ben Johnson area has been amazing.
Kings of the offseason, the Chicago Bears. Will that transfer into the regular season? We shall see. The Toxic Table's here at Boston Connor, at Ty Schmidt. One half of the hammer, Dahn. Cowboys. I see what you did there. Ball cap Tone is here, but on his ball cap it says Cowboy hat. That's cute.
That's smart.
That's really cute. That's a really cute play. Good for you, Tone.
Wearing his cowboy hat.
A lot of people saying you sold out yesterday, but then people forgot that you sold out to become a cowboy. You weren't ever a cowboy, became a cowboy. Now you're back to baseball cap guy, which is inevitably a kind of slow roll into the hair.
Sure.
That's right.
Because the hair looks good. He's found his haircut at this point. I think he's got a little confident. I think he's got a good shape up in there. So I think he's trying to get rid of the hat as a whole because he would like to showcase that.
Yeah, he wants to be a lettuce guy.
Bingo. He wants to be a lettuce guy.
Yeah.
So he had to go like one step at a time, got the ball cap on. He looked good, bud.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Everybody wants to be a lettuce guy, but yeah, it is a smooth transition. And like I tweeted yesterday and you respected it, I reserve the right to put the hat back on.
At any moment.
At any moment.
Yeah, and I think anybody that's ever heard you talk ever knows that.
Yeah.
That's possible.
Yeah, I will go back on anything I say.
You certainly will. You certainly will, and we're proud of you for
Thank
that.
you.
9-year NFL vet, Darius J. Butler's here.
Yes, sir.
D-Butch, quick question about what the Chicago Bears are doing. How do you feel about it? I love it. This feels like the right move. Anytime I see a team investing in the trenches, even the Chargers last year, they got rid of the exterior guys, kept everybody that works on the trenches. Now, are they going to be able to do that again? I don't know. But that's a message, I think, to everybody.
Huge message to the locker room, to the fans, to anyone who follows football. We always talk about the Eagles now for the last year. Every time we talk about it, it's O-line, D-line, how we building up in the trenches for sure. So you're doing this, you want to protect your dynamic quarterback that can do a lot of things, but we saw he was under a ton of pressure last year, so protecting him from the inside out will be major. And now it'll be interesting to see who they take in that draft. I would love to see like a Genty or a Hampton go there and give him a legit top-tier running back along with those good receivers on the outside.
I think I saw Keenan Allen is a free agent.
Yeah.
We should have been on top of that. We missed that completely. I missed that. We all did, I think. So he won't be around. But, they got weapons outside.
Still got Rome, still got DJ. Like, those are two.
Komet, yeah.
Good tight end, two legit.
Got an offensive line now.
Yeah.
You got a competent head coach, potentially.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know how he's going to be his head coach.
Sure.
No clue.
We assume he's going to be a good head coach because he's coming from a great culture and he's a great offensive coordinator. Now, will he be a great head coach? We shall see. Great DC. I mean, they're working up there.
Yeah.
Are the kings of the offseason.
Wow.
Let's go, Bears.
We're back, baby.
March 5th.
Bear Dahn over there. That's great stuff. And more news came out of the NFL this morning out of Cincinnati. The Cincinnati Kid. I know a lot of people are called that. But this dude, seemingly from the video that was released, grew up in Cincinnati, was a Cincinnati Bengal fan, went to Ohio State, which is obviously in the state of Ohio, goes to the Bengals, has one of the biggest plays in the history of the organization, like leader, captain for the Bengals, like the face of Cincinnati. This guy, Sam Hubbard, and we all remember him from the 99-yard fourth quarter fumble recovery touchdown against the Baltimore Ravens. He has announced his retirement today. So, hell of a run, Sam.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
I don't think any of us expected this, saw this coming. Obviously, incredibly young. I don't think we talked about this guy being like the mayor of Cincinnati enough either.
Yeah.
Like, I think AJ said, like, he's a hometown kid or whatever a couple times, and maybe we understood he's from Cincinnati. But the way this video went, the way the retirement video that the Bengals put out went, it was like, this guy is Cincinnati. That's a massive loss to the Cincinnati Bengals defense. Lou Anarumo, Trey Hendrickson says, pay me or trade me. Sam Hubbard now retiring. I know it opens up some money potentially because the retirement money is off the books, but that's a big-time loss for that Cincinnati Bengals team and city, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I like you see this and you just assume it. I don't think he's had a really injury-plagued or filled career, but being from Cincinnati, going to Ohio State, like you assume, hey, if this guy can get out now while he's healthy, like he will be able to do whatever he wants to do post-career in Cincinnati, you assume. Like
any building.
Yeah, exactly. Doesn't matter what he wants to do. He is going to have a very successful post-football career. So good on him. He had a hell of a career, too. So, why not? Good time to do it, I guess.
And shout out him. I guess it, double-edged sword here. The last play of his career was a touchdown, which is awesome for him, but he also tore his knee on that play. So, maybe he gets that at that 30-year-old age where he doesn't know.
This is the touchdown you were referring to?
Yes, the touchdown. Where
Boom, what a catch.
Comes off.
Athlete.
I don't think he realized he tore his knee here until he comes off onto the sideline, and they're talking about it or whatever, and that's his last play as a Cincinnati Bengal, but that's awesome.
I like the Duke, too. I wonder, if there was any pressure on, like, hey, we need, before free agency, it would be great. Or maybe Sam Hubbard, the Cincinnati Kid, was like, I'll get this answer to you guys as soon as possible. I don't want to hold up any other opportunities for you.
I mean, he had a great productive career. I like when guys leave on their own terms, and like Ty said, it's not like the future is bright. I didn't know him to be banged up a ton. Obviously, got the major injury to end his career, but I like when I see guys leaving the game on their own terms.
Okay, let's talk about people that are still in the game. People have noticed the Saquon Barkley contract. More specifically, running backs have noticed the Saquon Barkley contract. Let James Cook of Buffalo said, "Oh, ain't that nice? Oh, what's going on here? Wait a minute. We're getting 40-some million now again? Whoa, how the tides have turned. Wow, is it nice to be a running back who's potentially on the market and also can catch the ball, Kid run hard.
What?
Whenever they put the offense more in his hands, everything got better. Stats great. Everybody loves him. Everybody loves him. I think he's just quiet, go about doing his work. Obviously, he's known the NFL lifestyle for a long time because of who his older brother is at the exact same position. I mean, you're talking about a guy that's ready to, see some dollars when just a couple years ago, the running back market was absolutely nothing, D-Bud.
Yeah, we've been talking about the running back revolution, and when the money and the draft picks, when that starts to follow, that's when you know it's changing. It's kind of going full circle. So, yeah, this guy had 20 touchdowns last year. On an offense, on a team where Josh Allen obviously takes a bunch of those touchdowns, just like Jalen Hurts does, and Philly with Saquon with their version of a tush push. But yeah, James Cook is due a ton of money. Obviously, Saquon and Christian McCaffrey is them, and then it's a big gap with the other backs. But this is a guy that I can see filling that gap, jumping up in probably that third position.
Yeah, Brandon Beane hates this. It's probably wicked annoying for him. But also, he's so good at drafting running backs. I assume, Ray Davis being great might hurt him a little bit. But yeah, James Cook in the pass game. It feels like that's kind of the separator now.
Screens.
Between those 20 million guys, those screens, those wheel routes. Like I can remember it might have been against the Dolphins actually, where it was a fourth down, and the play is to James Cook. And it's literally just him lining up on the right, sprinting left, catching a pass, and going, 20 yards for a touchdown. So it does feel like now that is, if you can't catch the ball very efficiently and you're not involved in the pass game, then, a number like this might not be real. But for, those James Cooks, some of those other guys, Gibbs, Bijan, Kyron, like that is a real number now for everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Money team Ed Barry, by the way. Congrats.
Yep.
And Saquon, congratulations. You earned that, brother, running all over the place.
During the AFC Championship, after James Cook had that incredible touchdown, his brother, Dalvin Cook, quote tweeted it and said $20 million a year, bag emoji.
Okay, so Dalvin Cook's been watching the market pretty closely for a while now, I would assume. Speaking of the market, it changed just the other day down in Dallas. A man signed an $80 million deal. Same man, undefeated his junior and senior year in high school wrestling.
Hell yeah.
45-0 and 46-0. Went to UCLA. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to make sure I get this right. And I probably
will.
Yeah.
I got faith.
Well.
Yeah.
Damn right.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dallas Cowboys D tackle Osa Odighizuwa.
Yeah. What's up, man? You got it.
No,
that was perfect.
Wait, is that Nigerian? Is that
Yeah.
Nigerian? Yeah. Okay. So I feel like we've learned with the internationalism of sports coming in, I feel like I have learned the traits of each country's name. Like Polynesian names. You kind of start to get the Nigerian names becoming big in football, I think, and in sports as a whole. Starting to learn a little bit. So I want to let you know, I am so pumped that I got that right. Like I would like to let you know you've earned that. Obviously, you are and should feel respected, especially with everything you've accomplished. Let's talk about the deal. This has been something that's been in the works for the last couple of weeks, I would assume. And whenever you find out that you're about to get life-altering money, what is your first thought whenever you're being told about it?
Family. That's like the whole reason why I play this game. Without my family, my mom, my older brothers that paved the way, you know what I mean? And a lot of people just pouring into me and sacrificing for me to get to this point. Can't help but think about them when it's time to reap such a big reward like that. Some life-changing money. It's not just life-changing for me, it's just for my family, and what we're going to be able to do is amazing. So yeah,
it's generational, brother. Generational. Like, think about that. The whole family changes because of your hard work, because of how you played as a Dallas Cowboy thus far. Let's talk about playing for the Dallas Cowboys. We've learned over the last couple of years, there's tours going through your facility. Is that accurate, or how much are we blowing that out of proportion? What is it like to be a Dallas Cowboy?
I feel like the tours get blown out of proportion a little bit. Like, they're just kind of like walking through common areas. They'll look at some of the pictures on the wall upstairs. They're never like in our meeting rooms while we're there. They're never like in the locker room while we're there, and they're never in the weight room while we're there. Like, they're just like walking through. So I don't mind people just walking through and looking. It's a beautiful building, make money off of it. You know what I mean? And it's not getting in the way of us getting the work done.
Do you feel like you have to be a Dallas Cowboy to play well for the Dallas Cowboys? Does that make sense? Like, is there some people that aren't fit or cut out potentially to be a Dallas Cowboy? We're on prime time every single week. There's going to be chatter about your team regardless of what happens. And when it doesn't go well, obviously it's going to be louder than anywhere else. Do you feel like you have a crew of guys in there that love that about being a Cowboy? And do you think there is a special trait to playing for Jerry Jones's team?
I would say not a different trait that's like from playing with other people's teams. There's a ton of talent on our team, top to bottom. I feel like we're definitely one of the more talented teams. That was something that was obvious to me when I came through. I'm like, there was a lot of guys that were just starter caliber dudes and that's part of the reason why we did lose a lot of people is just because like the depth. Like when I came in 2021, it was insane. So I think that was definitely the hallmark and finding guys that can get it done on the field and dogs, you know what I mean? In terms of dealing with all the pressure and like the noise, I don't think it's something that anyone really minds. Everyone is more interested in football and playing football than the outside noise. I see people that do use the platform really well to like make money off of the field and kind of use that for marketing. And I'm like, more power to you. That's just one of the benefits of being a Cowboy. I think that's the added cherry on top for sure. Yeah. Like this is one of the like best markets that you could be in.
Yeah, and if you look at Joe and Troy and then Tony and Jim, I mean, and Witten got in there without even trying it before. It was in Monday Night Football. It's like being a Dallas Cowboy, you become a superstar. You can also do a lot of good for the world with that platform, which I think a lot of Cowboys have done, including you. I just got it sent through to me about the inaugural Odighizuwa Foundation Gala,
yes, sir.
Which your foundation helps support single mothers, from what I've quickly learned and read. When did you start this, and why was this what you decided to go with?
Started this after my rookie year in 2022. Because my mom, she's a single mother. She raised me and my 3 older brothers by herself. And, you know, I just know being at this point in my life, being in a position to give back and help people and change lives is a blessing in and of itself. So, and we didn't get here alone. So just being able to kind of be that same hand reaching back out, helping people climb up, lift people up, and pay it forward is super important. Something that my mom is very heavily involved with, my brothers are involved with, something that we can do as a family to be able to give back and pay it forward.
Hell yeah, Osa. Hell yeah, bro. Sounds like you got a badass mom helping out a bunch of other badass moms. That's an amazing thing. Way to give back, brother. Way to use the platform of the Dallas Cowboys to make the world a better place. You talked about all the talent that you have on your team, and obviously you said that we all like ball more than all the other stuff. A guy who gets shit-talked a lot, but he's so talented. So talented. Game changer, game wrecker. Micah Parsons. What is it like being a teammate of him, being on the same D-line as he, and watching him kind of work day to day and maybe even grow as a professional here throughout his last few years with the Dallas Cowboys?
It's been awesome to see. You know what I mean? He just kind of Micah goes hard on the field and he goes hard off the field. He's 100% with everything that he does, you know, and I got to respect it. And some people could feel like it kind of conflicts a little bit, but I just feel like he's trying to maximize every avenue and all the potential that he has in all aspects and just being like a well-rounded person. You know what I mean? So I can't ever really knock that. I'm like, bro, go get what you deserve, man. Like, you're really doing it.
Yeah, so. Absolutely. He is. And on the field, he is absurd. You talk about the amount of talent you guys have. As you said that, I started thinking about your defense. It's like so much talent. Yeah. Primetime players all over the place. This last year doesn't go how you want. Obviously, injuries happen and everything happens throughout a season. What's mindset going into next year? Obviously, new coaching staff, new everything seemingly.
Yeah. This is a lot of change, but that's just the nature of the business. Like, change is going to happen. You can't stop it. Nothing is going to be the same, whether it be the locker room, 30% turnover, or coaching staff, you know, or anybody on the staff, just because these are some of the most sought after jobs in the world. So, you know, just that. But with regards to our team and Shadi putting together the staff that he has. I'm liking what I'm hearing. I haven't heard anything but good things about Flus. Talking to him, he's a good dude. Excited to work with him. White Cotton. Heard a lot of good things about him from people that have played under him and people that have worked with him, and talking to him as well. I'm pretty excited to get to work.
Okay, we're all excited to see the Cowboys, the next iteration of the Dallas Cowboys. All the talent, all the TV time, and I got a chance to watch Shadi work in Indianapolis, so I'm very happy for him. Like, he has worked his ass off. Obviously, he grew up in it with his dad and his family. Obviously, he's a football family. Had an opportunity to be a head coach, 15 years ago or something like that. Then he becomes assistant coach, puts in the work, puts in the hours, travels around the league, learns, develops. I'm happy for him. Everybody shit on him, though. That's the Dallas Cowboys. That's Dallas Cowboys football. That's how it works, with whenever you're wearing the star. Now, we have a couple questions for you from the boys, if that's okay. Con Man first.
Yeah, so we read online that you were 91-0 in wrestling your junior and senior year of high school combined, and, of course, you won 3 state championships along with that record. Is that huge when it comes to, your game in general, especially being on the inside, and are we maybe looking at a WWE run after your career?
It definitely, I can credit my wrestling career with a lot of football success and just shaping me mentally to be the person that I am today. But no, you will not catch me doing any WWE.
Oh, come on!
Don't rule it out. Don't rule it out.
Come on!
And not to disrespect the WWE, I just know it's not actual wrestling.
Whoa! Tell that to You're going to get suplex out here!
So good. Incredibly impressive, incredibly entertaining. The acrobatics in the ring, the athleticism that it takes to be a WWE wrestler is insane. You just probably wouldn't catch me doing any of that stuff.
Tell that to Chick Magnet Punk.
Yeah, you need to watch. Yeah, and also Braun Breaker's going to spear you. You need to watch it. Let alone if our tribal chief heard what was happening here.
Boy.
But nonetheless, talk about the wrestling a little bit. 91-0. Was that obviously football worked out very well for you, but you're a dominant. Were they saying
gold medalist?
We should think about maybe what was the conversation in wrestling after you go 91-0 your junior and senior year of high school with 3 state titles?
Offers.
Yeah, exactly. The offers had to be everywhere.
I definitely had a couple of offers for wrestling. I knew I wanted to play football, though. A lot of other people knew I wanted to play football as well. I committed to UCLA pretty early, too. So, when that happens, they typically kind of they save their energy just he's pretty heavily committed to going to that school. So it just kind of ends the recruiting before it begins. I'm not even going to lie.
Some of these wrestling coaches need to get in there and start selling.
Yeah, come on.
If Nick Saban was the head, exactly. If Nick Saban was the head coach of one of these places, hey, listen, buddy, get you on the mat, get you on the field. What do you need to do? Let's go ahead and make sure this happens. You're a special elite. 91-0.
Absurd.
Were these actual humans, or are they just dummies that they're rolling out there? This was 91.
They were actual people.
91.
Now you do wrestle some of the same people twice, but that's kind of like with any high school wrestling. You have your people that will pop up commonly at tournaments and stuff. But yeah,
is this you?
These are actual people.
Is this you?
Yeah.
Jeez.
So this guy had no shot.
He's running away.
This guy had no shot. Guy's selling insurance right now, cutting down trees maybe up there in Oregon.
Oh, he had to play this.
Oh, my God. Is there any other highlights? He beat 91 other guys.
Yeah, come on.
Back control. Give him the 3. Give him the 3. That's tech fall right there.
They actually didn't video a lot of the stuff. A lot of my highlights are at nationals. I think that's what mattered anyways, because I won Fargo twice for freestyle.
Jeez.
Took 2nd and 3rd in Greco those back-to-back years, and they recorded every match. So I feel like that's the one that's you can go on YouTube and find those. That's enough for me. They captured the big ones.
Shout out to the dog. What type of dog do we have?
That's a Yorkie. His name is Charlie.
That baby Chuck.
All right, Charlie.
That baby Charlie. Way to go, Charlie. Your dad's a menace on the mat. An absolute.
Charlie.
Hey, did you use that head as a weapon every time? You just moved that guy's entire body with a headbutt onto his chest. And do you roll it all anymore? Do we get out there anymore?
I don't roll anymore. I do boxing in the offseason now. Head position is definitely one of those things that you need to be cognizant of in wrestling. Wrist control, you know what I mean? Just where your head's at, and controlling that tie. So
Do you have no helmet, no ear covers on either? You're not wearing any ear?
Nah.
You got
You don't wear headgear for freestyle.
You got cauliflower ear?
No, sir.
You're not getting taken down a whole lot.
No way.
These ears aren't touching much. It's all, okay, let's get back to football. Could you imagine accidentally showing up at a high school wrestling meet and this guy's on the other side?
Just go home. just go home.
And
man, there is some stories because you know those dads, bro. Those dads that just like to talk a lot of trash for their kid. Like,
no, I don't.
There was one time I was at camp, and he was just like, "Yeah, I remember my son beat you at Reno." I was like, "I actually won that tournament. Who's your son?" And he shows me this kid. I'm like, I've never wrestled this kid a day in my life. He's like, "No, I'm pretty sure like you wrestled him and he beat you." And I'm like, "Bro, where you like?" This is someone's dad, mind you. I'm in high school. We just having this back and forth. Like, bro, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I bet.
And then I actually did wrestle his son, and I like looked at him. I looked at the dad and I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna pin this kid now."
What if you lifted him up like it was WWE? Let me lift this thing up one more time. Looking at the dad. What a moment. That'd feel so good just knowing that you just ragdoll whoever. And then you should have called the dad in next. Hey, come on, 45.
You want some? Round 2.
Come on, 50-year-old talking shit to a high schooler. What a time.
That was hilarious. Like that stuff like that doesn't happen all the time, but it's there. Like you get things that happen like that at the tournaments. There's a little drama and stuff like that. But for the most part, I feel like wrestling culture is pretty cool. Everyone's pretty respectful.
Great sport. Like legit. You talk about commitment and discipline and the amount of work ethic and failure and like battling through pain and like, are you hurt? Are you injured? I mean, it's a great. So they tried to get rid of it just a few years back, right? Weren't they gonna
at the Olympics?
It was no longer an Olympic sport, and they thought it was going to disappear or whatever. And then like any wrestler you've ever met, like just know that they're built different than you. Because in high school, whenever you were just going home or whatever, they were in garbage bags running from school to their home, back to the school. And then if they didn't lose enough weight, they're spitting and running that lap again or those miles. It's like the wrestlers are a different animal. You see that cauliflower ear, you back up. And I assume if you see Osa too, let's not get in there and start talking shit about kids. Now let's get back to football, shall we? D-Bud has a question for you.
Yeah, you're at the point in your career now where, and it happens quick. You know, now you're going to be one of the OGs, one of the guys that's going to be, a younger guy's going to look to for game or guidance. Who was that, or who were those people that kind of helped you and helped you learn your craft? I know you had a lot of battles in the interior with Zack Martin, one of the best guards we've seen. But who were those guys, either offensively or defensively, that kind of helped you the most with your craft?
Definitely, you know, when I came in, leaned on D-Law a lot, just kind of looking at him and how he works, how he plays, you know, just like that dog, just the extent that he goes to, just always finding the football, always he could be on the backside of the play and he's going to end up in that frame at the end of the play, and just watching him, you know, just get after it is very inspiring. And then being in the company of Randy Gregory as well, and just watching how they work and how, you know what I mean, just it's hard to explain, bro. But you can just see when you watch it, bro. There's just animals just attacking constantly. So having that be the standard when we came in and just that dog mentality, that's definitely something that I feel like I leaned into a little bit, and it goes with my play style as well, being a high effort guy, you know. So I feel like that was something that I was able to just walk into. They accepted me, you know, and we were able to have a lot of fun my rookie year. In terms of competition, Zack Martin, Tyron Smith, that was kind of like my welcome to the league. Going against those boys, there was one time I could have swore I beat Zach's hands on a swipe. And then when I went back and watched the film, I'm like, yo, I don't even know how he did that. Like, he's back in front of me, and I just won, I swear. Like I won, but I didn't win because he just recovered and locked me back up. So I was like, dang. And then taking that punch from Tyron for the first time. And I'm like, if I never have to play him again, I don't think I'll ever get punched that hard in my life.
Sternum?
So.
And the sternum?
Just chest, bro. If he catches you anywhere, like, you're going to feel it.
Yeah. Big mitts.
Even
too.
in the walkthrough.
All these dudes have such big mitts. I assume you do as well. But these massive frying pans just like getting out there. It's the offensive linemen are an absurd specimen. I think if it was to be studied with how big they are versus what they have to do backing up and all that. But D linemen are at the combine here, we're watching these massive dudes run these ridiculous times. You just said you're a high effort guy, high motor guy, first one in, last one out, lunch pail guy, surprising athlete guy. That is
hard hat
guy. That is what they say about you. Is that an accurate depiction, or how would you describe your play? Just relentless?
That's definitely accurate. And in terms of just the way I work and the process that I have, a lot of that comes from my older brother. I'm one of the people that's blessed to have someone, or that was blessed to have someone like before me coming through the league and telling me, this is what you need to be doing, this is what you need to focus on, take care of your body, take care of your body, take care of your body. So just having him in my corner and in my ear as I was coming up through UCLA, I feel like that's probably my biggest professional influence. And people could tell you as well, not to toot my own horn, but I carry myself like a pro since I've been in college, and that's the reason why.
So what's that mean? We're dieting, we're on time, we're working out extra, we're doing all the extra stuff, like literally because of seeing how it's done to make it to the next level. That is kind of how you've carried yourself?
Indeed.
What is the diet? What's the diet?
The diet wasn't anything crazy in college, but like as you go through combine and pre-draft prep, they're just telling you, stay away from added sugar. We had meal prep and everything like that. So I like to just, avoid added sugar, make sure I'm eating like home-cooked foods, like real stuff, not anything processed. Try and limit fried stuff. Nothing crazy, but, just working out.
You like chicken parm?
And eating home-cooked meals, bro.
Chicken parmesan, home cooked.
Fazoli's.
You ever have beef?
Hey, rice and stew.
Rice and stew?
Nothing against chicken parm, but my mom's rice and stew, I would say that's like the classic. And if I could eat that every day, I'd be probably in just as good shape right now.
What is the stew made of? Because that's made of different. What's the liquid in the stew?
It's like a tomato-based stew. There's a lot of different seasonings in it as well. My mom does a lot of stuff organic. She like dehydrates the tomatoes, grinds them up, uses them as a powder. Like she's
in there,
real dude. And then obviously the spices that she's been using since she was a kid, she can make Nigerian food in her sleep. So it's a tomato base, but it's just the flavor of it is hard for me to explain. I don't know how to cook it.
I know how to eat it. I understand. So is that Nigerian food? A lot of spices, tomato based. Like, what is Nigerian food? Is that the bucket?
That's not that. That's just rice and stew, and then you got jollof rice. Again, don't know how to cook it.
Naughty.
But it's so good. Fufu and agusi. That one is like a seed based stew with like leaves. She uses spinach.
There's somebody in the back saying, "Don't tell the white about fufu and agusi."
My mom
giving away the recipe.
Yeah, don't be telling them. Don't be telling them. That's awesome.
But yeah, bro. She's doing her thing. That's why we're so big. A lot of pounded yam.
Pound of yam.
Absolutely.
A lot of goat, beef, chicken.
You name it.
So if you notice that Nigerians have like a certain size to them, the diet is 100% responsible for that.
Who was the D tackle from Louisville? Went into the NFL like age 19 or something. You remember him?
Played against him a bunch.
Amobi Okoye?
Yeah. Yep. Boom.
Is that Nigerian? Is he Nigerian?
Yeah, he was like 19, 20 when he got drafted too.
Yeah, because I think he got to college as like a 16 or 17-year-old and was playing D tackle.
Yeah.
And it was just like dominating. I think that was my first because that was our era.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Jesus Christ, what is this? The strongest guy of all time. And then he gets drafted to the NFL. He's like 19 years old. No problem. Goes in there. That's because he had fufu.
That D lineman too is crazy.
Fufu and agusi.
Yep.
What's that? What's fufu and agusi?
Fufu is that pounded yam that I was talking about. You can eat that you can have it with stew too, but like fufu, you typically eat it with agusi, but that's pounded yams.
I'm gonna sound so cool when I go to Nigeria someday. So I'll take some fufu and goosey, please. Thank you.
A goosey is the soup that you eat it with.
Oh, of course, yeah. What is that soup? Is that a tomato base as well, or what type of soup is that?
No, that's the one that's like seed based. Like you grind up seeds and then you have like spinach or some. I'm spacing on exactly what it's called. I'm kind of Americanized, to be honest.
Put a little extra salt in there. You know what it is. That's awesome.
Nah, like, bro.
Okay, I
so
can't wait.
Good.
Okay,
it's like a seed and leaf based.
Okay, I don't know where we'll find it. We will definitely try it before the end of the week.
Yep. Where are you at?
Indianapolis. I don't know.
Might be tough.
I don't know.
I was gonna say, if you said LA, I could tell you a spot.
Nah, it's a Nigerian community out here.
Is there really?
Oh, yeah.
In Indianapolis, Indiana?
Yeah.
A Nigerian, that means there's, I assume there's a grocery store of some sort.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll make this happen. All right, we won't be able to cook it as well as your mom, obviously, but we will certainly.
Nah, definitely not. You guys got to come here for that, but.
Okay, on the table.
Yeah.
We've been invited.
Okay.
We will certainly.
I've heard people that have had Nigerian food from their teammates on other teams tell me that my mom cooks the best Nigerian food they've ever had, hands down.
Sweet.
Multiple reports.
Okay, so I don't have to go to Nigeria either then. I just go there and I'll be able to, I'll draw it off the list. And actual great night, the best of all time. Thank you for the invite. I love that. We have a couple more questions. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Heard your mom's in the room, by the way. Tell her we said we can't wait to eat her fufu and a goosey. And the
Hey, Mom. They said they can't wait to try your food.
No, please, let her know I know. Rice and stew, I know.
Come on over.
Tell her I can't wait for the rice and stew, the fufu and a goosey. Yeah, make the.
He said all of it: the rice and stew, fufu and a goosey, jollof rice, everything.
Yeah, put me over with her. Yeah, I forgot about the fries there. She thinks now I know.
He said answer you.
Boom.
Can't wait. Yep. Okay, we have a couple more questions. What a time. Okay. I can't wait for this night. How many people can come? Do we need... All right, we'll get to that later. We'll talk to Mom. We'll see what's all possible.
Funny thing about the way she cooks, she pretty much cooks strictly in bulk.
Nice.
Once again, that goes back to the size.
Yep.
Perfect.
Okay. Ty has a question for you, Osa.
Yeah, Osa, you mentioned the perception of the Cowboys just kind of as a whole. What's your relationship like with Jerry Jones? Like, have you had very many interactions with him? And what do you think one of the most common misconceptions is about him? We talk about people, talking shit about the Cowboys and him in general. Like, what would you say to people who think they know Jerry Jones?
I haven't had too many interactions with him either. I'm not going to lie, not a ton. He's a busy guy. He comes in the locker room quite a bit. I shook his hand a bunch of times. I know that he loves the game of football. So one thing that people might have messed up about him is that he's caught up in a lot of the other stuff based on like marketing and money. I don't think that there's a doubt in my mind that Jerry loves the game of football.
Got it. Loves the Cowboys too, right? I mean, this guy obsessed with the Cowboys. I think that's always the message that we get from the Cowboys people is like, these fans love the Cowboys. They certainly do. Jerry loves the Cowboys and loves the football more than anything.
Incredible actor too, though. Can't rule that out going forward.
Did you see him in Landman?
Hey, I saw that clip.
You ever get that speech?
Like,
he ever give you that one of those speeches? Like,
pretty legit.
And you, Osa, I've been watching you. Is he doing any of those? Sit down.
Each game definitely has gotten better over the last couple of years. So I think he's been secretly taking some acting classes or something like that, and just
maybe
got that clip and did a great job.
Okay, so we started this conversation about the $80 million deal and said congratulations. What is your first thought whenever you hear you're going to get life-changing money? You think about your family. What are we doing? What's the first move here? We're getting fufu and a goosey for a entire time. We're doing rice and stew. What is the celebration of the new contract? And also, cool story we're learning about here. You wore the same tank top when you first signed with the Cowboys, and then whenever you signed your $80 million deal, obviously you look very similar, haven't aged a bit, but the beard and the hair, the hang time certainly got a little bit longer, and the arms have gotten much larger. That's cool. That's a cool moment for you, I assume, as it happens. And what's the first move now? What are we doing with the first move?
Like with the money?
Yep. New tank top? No, same tank top.
I mean, that was just, that was just me being funny. But, I mean, for sure getting some new clothes. Not the first move. That's just been happening since I've been in the league. I'm a clothes guy. It's not going to stop.
Super
Probably gonna get
fashion?
worse.
Are you a super fashion guy? I didn't know that.
I wouldn't say super fashion guy, but I'm very much into fashion.
Okay, so you look around other leagues, you see Tyrese Haliburton, you go, you know what? That guy's costume's pretty good. That guy's game day costume's pretty good. Jamar Chase, Joey Burrow. You looking around at those, or Travis Kelce shows up in some great fits? Are you looking?
Yeah, I look at stuff like that.
What are you wearing? What is your go-to? Are we wearing great pants, glasses? Are we a glasses guy? What is the go-to?
Definitely shades. Probably with every fit that I've ever worn to a game, to be honest.
Hell yeah.
There's probably like a handful of times where I don't wear glasses. As far as my fits, I'm a pants guy. It's hard for me to explain. I like unique stuff.
Loud. We're going loud
show
shit.
Range, a lot of different kinds of stuff. I couldn't pinpoint like exactly one style that I go with. Layered fashion is probably my favorite.
Who? Layered? We're wearing four. We got a couple different pop colors. How about, have you, I didn't know you were the one that lent this jacket to Tyrese Haliburton. That was your jacket?
Oh, nice.
That you gave to Tyrese right there? This is your jacket?
Yeah. It's, you know, I don't even know how this got out because I told him I wasn't going to say anything to anybody. You know?
Enjoy it all, man. Enjoy
Yeah,
it all. We appreciate you so much for joining us. You've earned this. Obviously, we can't wait for the Nigerian meal. And we're excited for that. That has to happen. And we hope Mom understands that we are expecting that to take place.
I got you.
That's going to be about $10 million of that $8 million because we want all.
Yeah, right.
We want to take home.
The fixing.
I can hear you still, bro.
Oh, okay. He's on. Ladies and gentlemen, Osa Odighizuwa. Fufu and a goosey.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot wait to hear how I use that. This guy thinks life is all just eating fufu and a goosey and drinking these cocktails. I can't wait. I bet you it's really good.
You got to use it. We got any Nigerian WWE superstars?
I think we did. I don't know. So I had a Jamaican teammate and obviously the oxtail.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's an experience. That's a good night.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever it's like, actual, and it's great, delicious. That's why as he was describing all that thing, I'm like, that sounds like a great night. Like that really does. Now they would have to be welcoming, obviously. Sure. And they would have to want it to be a great night. Sound like they do.
Absolutely.
I heard Mom in the back going, okay, rice and stew, we got it, fufu and a goosey. Jello fries? Is that what he said? Jollof fries?
Yeah.
Okay, I can't wait for that. That guy got broken off. We didn't know much about him, and Omos is, once again, size.
Yeah. Yeah. There you have it. Big SOB.
He eliminated me from Royal Rumble.
That's right.
Him and Braun Breaker. I realized quickly I didn't want to be in there at that time. I had my cowboy boots on.
High IQ.
Osa Odighizuwa. $80 million deal.
Dog.
Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys love that guy.
Yeah.
And him being 91-0 junior, senior year of wrestling and everything like that. I can't wait to learn more and watch. I can't wait to watch him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to watch him. The name is awesome. Okay, there was some news, obviously, that broke this morning around the NFL in the offensive line position. Joe Thuney of the Kansas City Chiefs, formerly of the Patriots, has been traded to the Chicago Bears. This comes less than a day after Jonah Jackson was traded to the Chicago Bears, also an offensive lineman. Joining us, offensive lineman specialty guru, AQ Shipley. Hey, Q, are you wearing a sweatband? Is that what
I just got done working out Hainsey.
Okay, so you're working out Hainsey. Obviously, he is a private instructor. Is that a sweatband on your hand, or what is that?
QB wrist?
No, this is
shirt.
Design.
Okay,
Hate that.
old Buccaneer shirt.
Yeah, I would never put that one on, but I understand that you have no decision in that. That is just game day stuff, and obviously it breathes good. So whenever you're working out Hainsey, life is good. Let's talk about these offensive linemen. Joe Thuney, All-Pro guard. Probable Hall of Fame guard whenever it's all said and done with his career. He goes out to tackle last year, puts a left up because they weren't able to figure it out. He says, you know what? I'm the best offensive line man on this offensive line. I think that I can do this. They were trying to figure it out. They couldn't. They move him out there. Somebody else comes in at guard. And I talked to you earlier. You said they probably thought that he was sufficient enough, even though they're going to have to upgrade everywhere at that offensive line. And with no guaranteed money, as soon as they tagged Trey, you knew this was going to happen. What does this mean for the Kansas City Chiefs? And what does this mean for the Bears, you think, with a massively talented player at a very important position in 2025 NFL getting moved today?
It's an interesting move because Thuney's coming up on 10,000 snaps. He's one of the best guards of this generation. Played in 6 Super Bowls at this point, and he was the rock piece. Left guard for them, right? And if you look at him here, I mean, he's unbelievable. He's pulling, opens up the seam. Pacheco's great. But, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, what Tooney brought to that team was experience, and you can't buy experience. And the biggest issue with the Kansas City Chiefs over the last couple of years is they have not been able to solve their offensive line. So now they're going with inexperience, or I've been reading a lot on the internet that they're going to move Kingsley, the left tackle, who got benched early in the season. They're going to try him in at left guard. So now you take a guy who's never played guard, and you're going to move him into left guard, which is probably one of the most important positions on the offensive line. So you take 10 years of experience, 10,000 career snaps, multiple Super Bowls, all pro status, and you're going to replace him with a guy who's never played there before. I think it's an interesting move.
Okay, so it sounds like you are against the move. There was a contract situation with Tooney. He had no guaranteed money, I think, next year, so they're going to have to figure that out in Chicago, we would assume. What's right for guard, top guard right now, and is that potentially what the Chiefs are looking to do? Are they looking to get younger so they can get cheaper? And when you talk about maybe the tackle going in to guard, is that Mekhi Becton, right? Maybe they think that what happened with Mekhi in Philadelphia could potentially happen there, or what do you think the answer is for the Chiefs?
I think the answer is what they're doing, right? Like, I think they're screwed cap-wise. I mean, they're paying Mahomes, they're paying Chris Jones, they're paying guys, kind of all over the place, and they're kind of in a little bit of cap hell. So they're able to sit there and look at what Mahomes is able to do with a less than stellar supporting cast at times. They just gave Trey Smith 24 and a franchise tag. I assume they're going to try and work out some type of deal and lower that cap number just like the Eagles just did with Saquon Barkley. But, when you look at it, you look at Trey Smith at 24, you look at Tooney going on the other side of 30 now. You got to stick with Trey Smith, who's the younger player, and he's a dog, and he's one of the best players in all of football on the offensive line, right? So you got to stick there. You would have hoped they would have been able to keep Tooney and try and figure out through the draft the tackle position. They were not able to do that, so now they got to just kind of keep, mixing and matching and hoping for the best. But again, I see them in a position where they've been in the last couple of years, where they're just trying to find that piece, and they're going to be stuck.
You're thinking they're band-aiding a problem that is maybe a much bigger issue. Obviously, they get Trey Smith in for at least another year or for long-term, and he is a dog. It's great seeing him. Creed as well.
Yep.
Is the centerpiece, but got to figure out those two outside pieces or none of it matters. If they can just collapse a pocket, no matter how magical Mahomes is, which is a level of magic that we haven't seen on a football field, it doesn't matter if you can't do anything. And it doesn't show up till it shows up. And this year, it was at the Super Bowl. There was a lot of spots throughout the season, but they won. They won. Then they get to the Super Bowl, they lose, they get their asses beat, and the offensive line is the problem. It's happening against Tampa whenever you became a Super Bowl champion. I'm excited to see what Veach and Reed do on the other side. Spotrac is projecting that Tooney will get a 2-year, $41 million deal at guard for the Bears. They bring in he and Jonah Jackson. What does this mean from the Chicago Bears? You have to love this from Ben Johnson and Poles.
Listen, Ben Johnson was able to see firsthand what you do with the team when you build through the offensive line in Detroit. And here's the thing. He also knows what Jonah Jackson can do at guard. Let's not look at last year what Jonah Jackson did and got benched out in L.A. They bring him in. They try and move him in from guard to center. But Jonah Jackson 2 years ago at guard was an ass kicker. There he is kicking the guy out. I mean, listen, he if you go back and look at his 2023 tape, he's incredible at guard. And then you bring in Tooney. You just solidify the guards. They've drafted well at tackle. The only position they got to solve is center. And if you can get that through the draft, or I think they still got a lot of money to spend, they can go get a guy like a Drew Dahlman, a Robert Haynes who's out there. That's a good plug right there,
He literally started this show saying, I just got done working out with Hainsey. Who's available?
He looks great.
How's he looking?
He's available.
How's he look?
He looks great.
Good workout today?
He looks great.
Good workout today?
Yeah, he just got in last night, so today was our first day with him, but he's ready to rock and roll. A lot of teams were interested in him out at the combine, so he's available, boys. He's available.
Speaking of that, of available centers, and shout out to Hainsey, good luck, and we should have known.
Yeah, of course.
Hey, success rate on the private training sessions, good.
Pretty good.
Good for business, okay, for the old shipyard. People want to come through the shipyard when success is on the other side. Let's make sure we're flushing the toilets this year. Connor has a question for you about available offensive lineman and center.
Yeah, AQ, did you see anything at the Combine? Did you watch anything at the Combine about these offensive linemen? Obviously, right now, there isn't really a bona fide stud. I believe the kid from Missouri is kind of flying up a lot of people's boards. But how do you feel about this O-line class, and do you think it's one where we will get a few more absolute studs in the NFL this year?
Yeah, I think this class, I mean, just looking through, I just started diving deep into the film a little bit and started hitting the top prospects. The kid from Missouri is a stud, right? Like, athletically, he's a stud. It matches up with what he puts on tape. He's got to clean up some technique stuff. He's a little raw. Reminds me of the kid Fashanu from Penn State last year. Super talented, super physical, strong as hell, athletic as hell. You just got to clean up his feet, and you can't get away with the same things you're able to in college at the pro level. When you look at the most NFL-ready guy, I'm thinking it's Banks from Texas. I love him. We talked about him earlier in the fall, con man. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I think Will Campbell, has the ability to be very good. He's athletic, he's big, he's strong. But shorter arms, like you just said, I don't think that's, obviously, you know me with short arms, I don't give a shit. We play in phone booths. But at the end of the day, when you look at Will Campbell, I think he struggles a little bit against the bull rush. I looked at the best rushers he went against in the SEC, and he struggled a little against the bull. So he's got to get a little bit more stout, but he has all the makings to be pretty damn good.
How often is that the case for a rookie coming into the NFL? You got adults now bringing a little bit more power. You develop into that? Is that something you grow into normally?
Yeah, it is. I mean, listen, I think, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, it was an emphasis in college that you still ran a pro-style offense. So you were still running the gap schemes, the powers, the downhills. I think the college system has ruined offensive linemen having the ability to go in and step in right away because they've gone to all this RPO and quick throw, and all we got to do is run laterally left and right. We don't have to take somebody off the ball 5, 6, 7, 8 yards and dump them on the ground anymore. So I think, at the end of the day, when you look at the college system now, we're just looking to win games. And how can we win games? We get our athletes out in space. We hit the RPOs. You don't have to be as talented technique-wise across the offensive line. And centers, half the time, don't even snap the ball to a quarterback under center until they get to the NFL anymore. So
they don't go hand to cheek. They don't go hand to cheeks. You got to go hand to cheeks. You got to get comfortable with hands on cheeks, too. Mm-hmm. That's a whole other feeling you got to get used to. Last question here. We only got about 2 minutes. D-Bud has one for you.
Yeah, comment just asked you about the rookies. I want to ask you about the best available free agents possibly that are out there and the guys that we can expect to get big deals coming up once free agency opens up.
Yeah, listen, I think when you look across the board, I think centers are going to get some big deals. I think when you look at Drew Dahlman, I love Drew Dahlman on the offensive line. Cam Robinson obviously gets traded to Minnesota last year. I really like Cam Robinson. Ronnie Stanley, left tackle, big Megatron over in Baltimore. I think he's got the ability. George Fant got a ton of talent. I absolutely love George Fant being able to go in and step in and be a starting left tackle somewhere. Becton coming off the year that he had. Interior, I don't know if the teams are going to want to move him back out to tackle or guard, but look for Drew Dahlman to be kind of the center that people look to go after, I think, in my opinion.
All right, we appreciate you. Hey, did you see the hat that D-Butt was wearing? What league was that in?
Homestead Grays. I love it. I saw it earlier. Yeah, D-Butts, I think you can tell me what league that is.
Well, it's the Negro League, guys, all right?
Hey, Homestead, too, by the way. Love everything about
Pittsburgh, baby.
That's right. It is Pittsburgh.
Central Page.
We're part of the solution, not the problem. Let's never forget that. Ladies and gentlemen, that's AQ Shipley. We appreciate you, Super Bowl.
Thank you.
Hour wrapping up. Hour 2 will be on ESPN Maine and ESPN 2 because there's a rain delay on baseball.
Classic.
I'll tell you, we have some gusty showers is how they were describing it here in Indiana. Wild.
Crazy.
I've never heard anything described like this. Every once in a while, a word will be dropped into like the Weather Channel, like polar vortex is coming through.
Sure.
And then this is coming over. This morning, they're like, look out for gusty showers today. It's like, tornado with rain is going to come through for like 45 seconds to 2 minutes. And then you got a little time off and then it's going to come through again. It's insane today.
It's awful, yeah. I mean, my garbage can last night, flipped over, rolled halfway down the street. I had to go get it this morning.
Bad neighbor.
Oh, jeez.
No.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? As a garbage guy, put it down and just fucking sent it
Probably
flying.
thing open, too.
Exactly.
So the wind came.
Exactly.
And now there's going to be a bunch of water in there, too, because the rain's crazy. Everybody look out. Stay safe.
Yeah.
Hour 2 on the other side. Be a friend. Tell a friend something nice.
Hi, how's it going? My name is Pat McAfee. Used to hold balls for Adam Vinatieri. Now I'm in his home state. College game day is absolutely electric. And Brookings,
College Game Day has made the voyage to Brookings, South Dakota to experience a game with the best fans in college football. I unfortunately cannot attend because I have a game this Sunday, so I sent a man I trust to make my picks. A man who was my holder for almost a decade. Please be nice to him. Welcome this week's celebrity guest picker, Pat McAfee.
Go big, go blue, go Jacks.
Hosting Auburn. Yes, everybody saw this. The best fake punt in the world. What do you think, Pat?
I absolutely loved it all the way up until execution time. That is not one we like to show in the brand headquarters and punting and kicking world.
Oh, dance off. Oh, let's get weird. Yes. Duck that, huh?
Bang! Right off the top of the dome. That makes it a lot easier when you got a dummy standing right in front of you like that.
Running. He's Haliburton! Daniel Russo!
Wax on! Wax off! Knee to the face!
World Series!
Go! Yes!
These teams stink. With that 15, they celebrate by doing shotguns. And I'm a big fan of that. I'm going with the University of Virginia Cavaliers. That was great. Whoa! I will never, ever in the history of my life cut against that ball. Oklahoma State is a win here. Not so fast again.
But I'm going with Trey.
Please excuse my dumb friend Kirk. Look at this crowd. They've been out here since 4 a.m. College game day comes to town. They lose their mind. The population of this state is about 800,000. And when the Jackrabbits take the field, they're alongside all 800,000 South Dakotans. The Dakota marker was in Fargo for far too long. Today, 5 o'clock local time, the Dakota marker is back in beautiful Brookings, South Dakota. Military school. They might be the Jackrabbits, but they're the goats today. Ladies and gentlemen, South Dakota State with the win.
Give me everybody say that.
No, don't do that. No. Leave. Cousy has the win.
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey.
What?
Let's go.
This show stinks. And the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pink.
Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this International Wednesday, March 5th, 2025. Hour 2 of the program starts now. Sports! Awesome.
That was me. I screwed up.
There's no reason to do.
I almost did it last hour.
Yeah.
You forgot?
Did you say
Yeah,
football?
I just didn't say anything. So I was.
That's Darius J. Butler. The Talks Table is here. Not on the same page. At Ty Schmidt, at Boston Connor. Is everything okay?
That's on me. We were just talking ball, thinking about ball. Everything that we're talking about is football, but we're saying sports, and
we're doing sports.
We are doing sports, and I'm pumped about it. And I love sports, and I love it.
We're on ESPN and ESPN2.
Yeah.
That cannot be how the hour starts.
I screwed up, man.
From the top, please, Foxy. From the top.
Like,
sorry, guys.
good coach right there.
This show stinks. The
Start
fact
it
that you
over.
listen, we are very, very thankful for it.
McAfee
You think that's
with a gorgeous assist.
the all-time leading tackler for the Green
Big
Bay
Al.
Packers?
I apologize. I know.
Okay, here we go. Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back again to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this International Wednesday, March 5th, 2025. Hour 2 of the program now starts sports! After a beautiful announcement of what we get to talk about every single day. and that's sports. What a wonderful toxic table we have today. Some would say perfect. At Boston Connor, at Ty Schmidt, Con Man, sweet hat.
Hey, thank you very much. Taker, one of the goats. We're talking about, sports and entertainment, of course, because that's what we do here. But yeah, it's great. We're lucky to be here. I mean, the NBA. Holy hell!
Oh my God!
Are you joshing me, man? This league is heating up, and I went back in the archives, kind of learn a little bit more about the past Celtics greats. But I mean, how about LeBron? 50,000 points.
Whoa! Wow, LeBron, sports are great.
How about that? Yeah, Butch was all jacked up about these Cleveland Cavaliers. He's the only one, not me. But it's great. It's great to be able to talk about them all.
9-year NFL vet Darius J. Butler. The NBA is having quite a moment here. 50,000 points in one league. The highest league in the world. LeBron James still absolutely dominant and might have his best team he's ever had with Luka next to him.
It's ridiculous how well LeBron is still playing into his 40s now. And for him to crack 50,000 combined points postseason, regular season, and be doing it while his son is actually on the team with him is absolutely insane. Then Luka, they're figuring out first Lakers duo to go for 30 points and 5 threes. Luka just joined one of 4 Lakers all time to go 30 points, 15 assists already in what is probably 9th, 10th game with the team. So they are definitely cooking with gas. And while talking about the OGs, we might as well stick with them. Steph Curry. He was cooking as well. Once again, 28, 9 and 7, I believe, in the Madison Square Garden, where he's 12-1 now. And they are 9-1 since adding former Heat great Jimmy Butler to the lineup. 9-1. We got to give him his flowers. He's still cooking over there in our Golden State. So love to see this from Steph. Warriors are still in contention right now. So, yeah, the NBA is definitely cooking up. You talked about the Cavs. They just won 11 in a row, their third 11-game win streak of the season so far, which is crazy. So that's that's AJ's team. He'll be on soon. That's his squad, his mob. So they're cooking right now too. And KD, I know their team stinks, but he had a little dust up on the sideline with his coach. Had a huge fourth quarter, bring his sons back. So, yeah, the NBA is definitely cooking right now.
Plumlee's still in the NBA? That's awesome. I just found that out from this particular clip. I also like that Kevin Durant still has that fire.
Yeah.
The Suns are 11th in the West, and he's like, come on, man. Leads a massive comeback.
Yep.
The Suns maybe not dead yet. 20 games left, and anything can happen.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And KD's already planning on where he's going next year, so maybe they do make a run. Probably not. I mean, we can't. To
is
have
that Kawhi?
Yeah, Kawhi's playing again. He played 40 minutes against
30.
Yeah, 40 minutes against the Lakers. He's back. He's back from injury. He's going on a run. But how are we? How are we not going to talk about Haliburton?
Yeah, Tyrese Haliburton is breaking all the records. I was waiting for you guys to do your little bias shit that you were doing.
Well, I didn't bring up the
talk about LeBron, 50,000 points, obviously immaculate. Congratulations. Steph Curry getting back into the relevance conversation of the NBA is good news. Guy changed the entire sport of basketball, basically, with his success immediately in his shoe game. Stellar. Jimmy Butler going over there after causing a scene down in Miami. Obviously, a big-time story, especially if they're 9-1 in the entirety. The Cavs, what a team. Celtics, what a team. This guy, he's unguardable.
He is.
Yeah.
The amount of spunk this guy has, too. They're starting to call him Tyrese Halipizzazz. Have you heard about this? With his passing, his moves, his shooting. He's pulling up from anywhere. He's doing logo threes now. And remember, he was part of that Olympic team, didn't get to play, got a gold medal, has the tweet, obviously, about when you do nothing in the group project and still get an A. And that's because, Tyrese has the perfect mentality to be a point guard. He doesn't mind seeing other people do good things. He doesn't mind being a guy that's in the background if somebody else is going to get the showtime. As long as we're winning, as long as we're doing our thing. And now he's dropping these threes at a rapid rate. He's still doing his assist shit, which is always spectacular, always going to be a showman, always going to let people know, are you not entertained while he's out there? And then the way he carries himself, I mean, he's a Midwest kid who's just an absolute dog. And he happens to love the WWE. We are very lucky that Tyrese is in Indianapolis, and he's doing historic shit at the point guard position.
Yeah, unbelievable. I believe he had, 15 assists, only 2 turnovers last night. We've been talking about the run of games with assists.
So make that make sense. So 15 and 2, that's like for a quarterback throwing 4 touchdowns, 5 touchdowns, or maybe 6 touchdowns in a game and 1 pick.
I'd say no pick.
No pick.
That's more like
4
18.
completions.
Yeah, okay, 4 incompletions.
Bingo.
Okay, got it.
18 to 20. This guy is going for. before. I mean,
Hey, mate, Tyrese.
unbelievable. But
Haliburton.
yeah, I've been doing some deep dives into the Celtics history, and actually, I've been watching this documentary on the Celtics, and Haliburton's got some Bob Cousy in him. Let me just tell you, the whole entire game that I've been seeing these days,
that's a hell of a compliment.
And I don't want to downplay what Cousy was all about. I mean,
Who the hell is this? Can you please, for everybody that is watching this?
Bob Cousy's one of the GOATs. Basically, the league was built on Bob Cousy's back. He's an 8-time NBA champion.
Ask Mad Dog about him.
He was, well, we don't even have to. Okay, yeah. He NBA MVP. He was kind of the first ever dynasty when it comes to the NBA was Bob Cousy, and he is still bringing it, still kicking. Was alive for the Celtics last NBA championship. He said now he can die that they have the 18th banner more than the Lakers.
What is he though? Can you get to it? What he is? He has a lot of pizzazz.
He's got a lot of pizzazz. He's basically the first guy to put the ball through his legs while he's dribbling. Okay, that's who Bob Cousy is. Hometown kid, went to Holy Cross. Fantastic NBA point guard. He played with Bill Russell.
What you're telling me is everybody was doing this right here.
Everyone was doing that. Bingo. A lot of those, and he did that better than anybody.
Oh shit!
Yeah. He almost got burned at the stake for being a witch. And you can put the ball behind your back too, dribbling.
Really?
He was doing it all. He when you talk about Hal Pizzazz, okay, Bob Cousy, he was Bob Panache because the guy just played like there was no tomorrow. In some of the highlights they were showing, we might as well bring.
Over the head.
How you doing? With a little spin, little Inglaze on that. Coos was the guy.
He had a lot of flash, didn't he?
Look at that.
Where's he from?
He's a Queens, New York guy. Went to Holy Cross.
Oh, okay. I know where he was learning these moves from.
Boom, Bill Russell. What are you talking about?
I'm just gonna call him the Elvis of his time.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, D-Bud.
You must not be watching.
I also learned this in the doc. I don't think they were allowed to play on the same court, but I do appreciate
New York City,
what you're saying. Yeah. Still, those were different times. Very sad.
We're watching.
Felt terrible for everyone. A part of the doc.
He hasn't dribbled with his left hand one time.
Doesn't have
No, not one single time.
Didn't have
Why
to,
would he?
brother. Yeah.
Joining us. Left hand. How about
How about a
that?
hook shot with the left?
That was with the right, going left, dribbling with the right hand.
How about the hook shot with the left,
Watch your
bitch?
mouth.
He's an
Lefty.
Right hand.
Suck it.
Right hand.
Lefty.
Left
Lefty.
right here.
He's done 3 of them. This guy's
He's got it all.
right.
You're welcome, Kareem.
Joining us now is a man who I assume has a poster of this guy.
Bob Cousy. We love you, Coos.
Bob Cruise.
We love you, Coos.
In his bedroom, ladies and gentlemen, a college football national champion, a Super Bowl champion, a Ryder Cup winner, AJ Hawk.
Yeah.
AJ, how about Coos? Dude, he took that shit from right here and just did one of these one day, and there was people that fainted. And then he shows up doing the fucking whoop-de-woos. Oh, my God. Price of admission worth it for Bob Coos.
The GOAT.
You had a poster of him up in your bedroom growing up. What is your favorite part of his game?
I was very aware of Bob Cousy, no question. I had some old school coaches when I was young playing AAU that said, "Oh, do you think you're Bob Cousy?" If anyone ever tried to go behind your back or even shoot a 3 or do anything out of the norm, it wasn't like a jump stop, pump fake layup back in the day that basketball used to be when I was growing up. But he's like he looks like Pistol Pete Maravich. You guys got to know who Pistol Pete is. Pistol Pete
yeah, Caitlin Clark said, "Get the fuck out of the record books."
Pistol Pete wishes, but AJ does strike me more of the St. Louis basketball team. He's probably a fan of them. And if you didn't watch the doc, you probably won't get that. But let's just say they were very specific about the players they were drafted. Okay.
Whoa. You said you did learn a lot about the times.
Yeah. Tough, very tough time. Very sad. Very, very sad. I feel very bad for Bill Russell. Also makes a lot of sense why he never did an entire, retirement session for the Celtics or for anybody because of the times they were in.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of things said, a lot of things done, a lot of mandates, restrictions, regulations. That's crazy. And look at this now, huh? Come on. Always get better.
Yeah. Come on, what?
Let's keep it going.
Hell yeah.
Let's keep it going. Sports, big news, AJ. Tony gets traded to the Chicago Bears. This is a big deal. Do we know he was available? Like, I would like to know. Like, did Did the Indianapolis Colts know that Tooney was available? Now, Greta, you're going to have to work probably a 2-year extension, maybe a big deal, maybe some $20 million potentially a year here for an all-pro guard, a Super Bowl champion, a 10,000 snap guy coming to your team. But did everybody know he was available for a 4th rounder, AJ? And what are your thoughts on this?
This is the kind of thing that strikes me. This got worked out at the combine. You know, when agents and coaches and front office people are there, they kind of work through the deals like this. But no, I was not aware. Like, I felt like Tooney was a guy that's going to retire a Kansas City Chief. But I know we never really know the inner workings, what's going on as far as like contract wise and money and all that. But I tell you what, the Bears got a hell of a guy that can still play, and he has shown that he can play inside and outside. Obviously, I would imagine he would prefer to play guard, but this guy is an absolute stud. I still think he has plenty of years to play.
Yeah, I'm how old was he again?
32.
32 years old. 2 years, $41 million is what Spotrac is projecting. Spotrac is a website that keeps track of everybody's contract projections. They make graphs. I mean, it's a great website.
Yeah, great website.
Great website. I assume the NFL is very grateful for it. I think it's probably used by most teams around the NFL. 2 years, $41 million. That's great money. That's big money, though, out of the salary cap. You know, we just announced that Saquon Barkley was getting 2 years, like $41 million. Everybody talked about how big of a deal it was. I saw how positive everybody was around it. The only negative was good luck with that much of the cap being eaten up by a running back. It's like, you get a good offensive line, there's no dollar that you wouldn't spend on that. Same with Saquon Barkley, but $40 million is a lot of money to have to make a decision on right now, I think.
Yeah, you obviously got to be creative with it, but, I mean, you're investing in protecting your young quarterback who is still on a rookie deal, so you can save that money. He'll have to get paid in a few years if he turns out to be what a lot of people expect him to be. But if you're going to spend the money and invest it anywhere, that's what everybody's been saying since drafting Caleb Williams. Invest in protecting them.
Okay, let's talk about some other things that are happening around the NFL, more specifically Seattle, the home of Starbucks, and the home of, a lot of things. No longer the home of Ty Lockett. He has been released by the Seattle Seahawks. He put out a very long letter to Seattle. He's obviously synonymous with that place for a lot of great ball. And now Tom Pelissero from NFL Network, The Arrow, is reporting that DK Metcalf has requested a trade. Okay, so that is Pittsburgh Steelers fan grunting with satisfaction there that DK Metcalf is potentially on the trade block. We've heard nothing from Schneider or the Seahawks whether or not that is true. And if he is available, once again, we have the Myles Garrett situation happening in Cleveland, and the Browns have only said he's not available. Tone, why'd you get so excited right there, brother?
Well, I mean, because the Steelers have been trying so hard to trade for a wide receiver the last 12 months. It has not happened. Many times. Cooper Kupp, Ayuk, it's just go through all of them. Metcalf has been on the Steelers fans' wish list for a little bit now, and now that he is requesting a trade, not saying it's going to happen, I'm not saying he's going to get traded, but at least my hopes are ready to get crushed again.
I want to let you know, you're not the only one. I look over at the Talks table, both guys are like, yeah. Connor's like, be a great Patriot. Ty, like, great Packer in this entire thing. That's a big name.
Yeah, at the Combine, a bunch of reports came out that the Packers have already, it ended up being false, but there's a lot of smoke that the Packers have already engaged a little bit with the Seahawks trying to get DK Metcalf. The rumor was that they've already offered like a first-round pick for him and maybe like a potential one of their other young receivers. I don't know if that's actually true, but I would assume that the Packers will be very aggressive in trying to get a guy like DK Metcalf if he's available.
Yeah, I think last year as well and 2 years ago, DK has always been kind of one of those guys that any time he's available, it's like, hey, let's go get him. Right now with New England, the big news with wide receivers is A.J. Brown and Mike Vrabel doing the whole entire kind of reunion in that Saquon deal. If A.J. Brown were to be a little unhappy, wanted more money, or if they wanted to, bring back a Mekhi Becton or something like that. But, yeah, DK Metcalf, I think every single team who needs a wide receiver wants DK Metcalf.
Okay, so that's Patriots, that's Packers, that's the Steelers. D-Butch, is he a guy that you should still feel that way if you're a fan base with how he has played as of late? Obviously, we know of the athlete that DK Metcalf is. 0% body fat, can jump higher than you, can run faster than you. Is taller than you and is stronger than you. DK Metcalf is a one-of-one type. He was getting compared to Calvin Johnson. He wasn't happy about it at the beginning of his career. Calvin Johnson physically, obviously, not anymore, but it's like, hey, I am physically imposing as well, which he certainly is. Is he still a guy? And how about Lockett? Is our team going to pick up both of them? And is it Russell Wilson with the Pittsburgh Steelers and Ty and DK Metcalf? Is that what's taking place?
Him and Lockett, very, very different positions right now. But shout out to Lockett, had a great, very productive career out in Seattle for a long time, was a dog. And DK Metcalf is a lot of tread, I think, left on his tire. And when you game planning for Seattle or wherever he goes, he's still one of those guys that you can't let ruin the game, because at any point in the game, he can go for 80 or 90 yards with his explosive ability. There are some things maybe on the sideline, attitude-wise, that you have to deal with here and there, but when you had Justin Jefferson on, usually that comes with a number one big-time wide receiver. But there hasn't been any, at least to my knowledge, any off-the-field things with DK since been in the league. And when you got a 27-year-old that can still take the top off of a defense, if you're a team out there, the Chargers maybe could even be a team that can get in on him and get an explosive weapon on the outside for Justin Herbert. But this is big news for the NFL for him asking out, because Jackson Smith and Jigba became clearly their number one guy out in Seattle last year.
Okay, so Jackson Smith and Jigba, obviously a star in the making and star rising in Seattle, especially with new coach and everything. Pete Carroll back in the league, by the way, at a different place, who's very interesting to think about. But they kicked Pete Carroll out, Ty Lockett gone.
Yep.
DK Metcalf going to be gone. It's only a matter of time before that is a whole new, operation. And I'm not saying it's not going to do well. McDonald.
Yeah.
McDonald from Baltimore, defensive coordinator for the Ravens, now the head coach of the Seahawks, probably has a vision. Fan base, right?
Yeah, they lost it.
They kind of lost it last year.
Right? Because the Buffalo Bills came in there and stole.
And the Packers big time on Sunday Night Football.
Okay, so you're losing your fan favorites here, potentially. So you're going to have to rebuild. Like, that is going to have to be an actual thing. We'll be keeping our eyes on that. Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a man who, speaking of building, has been building sports leagues seemingly over the last 10 years at a rate that I have never witnessed before. Loves ball, loves sports. I think also loves the thought of a relationship, with the world growing continually. Ladies and gentlemen, the chairman of the Islamic Solidarity Sports Federation from Saudi Arabia, Turki Al-Sheikh. Turki, thanks for joining us, boss.
This title is not with me anymore. It is from 2017 when I was Minister of Support in my country. I am now the head of the entertainment section.
Okay, so what's the actual title? Let's make sure we get that right. What is the right title here, Turki?
The right title is Turki Al-Sheikh. That's it.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, Turki Al-Sheikh is here.
Yeah.
Congratulations on the announcement of the boxing promotion with the fine folks at TKO. I assume there was a lot of people that wanted to do boxing business with you. Why did it end up being the group of TKO, both UFC, WWE, Dana, Nick, Ari, Mark? Why did that become the relationship that you chose for your boxing entity?
First of all, because they are the top in this field. Second, we have a great long relationship between us and TKO for long times, and a lot of success profiles similar to WWE and a lot of things else. They are the perfect. We share the same vision, and we think we can reach our goals together.
Okay, so Turki, obviously, I feel the same way. I work for the WWE. We have massive respect for the UFC and everything that Dana has accomplished, and obviously Ari and Mark. So I agree with everything you're saying there. Can you tell me a little bit more about the vision of having sports maybe be the bridge for Saudi Arabia and the rest of the world? And why is this the time that it is kind of happening, you think?
First of all, this is like a private business between us and TKO. Our citizen in our country, more than 70% of it is young people. We have a big vision from our leader, God bless him, the Crown Prince, the vision of 2030. One of the section of this vision is the sport. We have a lot of big things. We have the World Cup. You have the World Cup in 26. We have it in 34. We have a lot of things. We have the Expo. We have a lot of big projects. For that, the sport is very important for us. We have now WWE around 10 years now. I have here in the room with me my brother Nick Khan. Come on, guys.
Haliburton, Nick. Congrats, Nick. Super genius, by the way. Super genius, Nick Khan. Absolutely right guy to make the decision. You look thin too, Nick. You look good right there. All the photos.
Listen,
Yeah, you look good.
I haven't eaten in 6 weeks.
Smart.
It helps.
Yeah, smart. Good to see you. Congrats on that. But you talk about your relationship with the WWE, Turkey, and I get a chance to chat with the superstars and the people from the WWE who have maybe gone over their first show until like most recent show. It feels like there has been quite an uptick in both welcome and also happiness for WWE coming to town, and also in the country as a whole. Do you feel that? Is that a real thing?
Of course. WWE and a lot of big franchise from America have a lot of fans in our country. There is a lot of Saudis here. There is a lot. Me, myself, I came here for a long time in New York. New York saved me. The hospitals in New York saved me more than one time. WWE, great relationship. I want and I insist to say from here hi to my father, Vince McMahon. This is the man who we beginning together, and after that I continue with my brother Nick Khan. Great relationship, and now we are thinking in this league of boxing, with sharing the same vision between me and the GOAT, Dana White, we will success to reach very far place, inshallah, to the fans.
Yeah, so joining us now, speaking of the man you just referred to, ladies and gentlemen, Dana White, president of UFC.
Hello, Dana.
Dana, congratulations. Honestly.
Good morning. Thank you.
We know you started in boxing, love boxing, and you've been disappointed with the state of boxing, feels like over the last few years since we've gotten a chance to chat with you. What is the conversation like with what you're going to do? I saw you on First Take talk about the best, you're going to fight the best. We're not going to have all these titles. How do you go about doing that? Are you finding young fighters? Are you getting known fighters? What is the plan to kind of fill your roster?
Yeah, there's a lot of young talent out there, up-and-coming talent that people don't know about. And we're going to stack cards that start from the first fight of the night to the main event that are packed with good fights. You're going to see a lot of guys who are, undefeated, fighting each other to work their way up to win the world title. And, my big beef with boxing has always been nobody has ever invested back into the sport. You had all these promoters who take, and never reinvest. Nobody in the history of the sport has invested more money in boxing in such a short amount of time than Turkey has. He's very passionate about the sport. And literally none of this could have been done without a guy like this coming into it.
Okay, so let's talk about it, because we've watched the fights. Tyson Fury's had a few. There's been some other marquee fights that have happened over there in Saudi Arabia. Obviously, we got big stages, the big arena sellout. We are all watching from long. How many fights a year are you guys expecting to put on? And will they all be in? How is that? How will it all work out with kind of the logistics of this particular promotion, Dana?
Yeah, now that we've got the deal done, what we do now is to start to build the infrastructure. We got to build a team. Then we got to go out and get a rights deal. Once we get a rights deal, we can literally, whoever we end up doing a deal with, we can, structure this thing to whatever the network needs. We can put on as many fights as they want. And when we started the UFC, they had like 12 contracts, and everybody started to fight each other. You get the best available in the world. They work their way up. We're going to have Olympians. We're going to have guys that are already undefeated out there and have established records. Plus, Turkey has a lot of commitments for some of the big fights with some of the guys that are out there right now. So there's a lot of fun, exciting fights to make out there. And you know how I run shows. The live event will all change. It will be much better than anything you've ever seen before. You won't have one fight and then a podcast happens and then another fight happens 45 minutes later. And you see 4 fights in 6 hours. All of that stuff is going to change when we start running the show.
The in-arena show is obviously going to be something that's special, especially with WWE even being a part of it. UFC and WWE being a part of the production is going to make that a must-be at event in Turkey. So now you have golf. You have boxing matches, you had soccer, you had fighting. Why was boxing the next one that you wanted to focus in on? Why was this the next play, you think, for you and for Saudi Arabia? Just love of sport?
Yes, of course. And with the support of my boss, the Crown Prince, God bless him. He's like to support anything for the young generation. We discovered a chance in the boxing. I like boxing. He give me the files and he support me a lot. And then with the right people, I think we will success. Behind Dana, very big experience. He have the machine of the TKO and he's bulldozer. He will go and clean the way, and we behind him. I give him yesterday the flag and the headache in the same times, and I said to him, "Come on, clean the field."
The bulldozer, Dana White. What a nickname. I can't wait for that. Now, speaking of Dana, making these fights, finding these fighters, Tone has a question for you.
Yeah, Dana, do you foresee any of your UFC guys wanting to get in the boxing ring now with this relationship? And in the future, will you guys have any events where there will be an octagon next to a boxing ring and we could see this all come together?
No, never. I'm sure there are guys that want to box, but I literally don't want to see any of that. We'll keep the boxers in the boxing and the MMA guys in the MMA, but we'll never have that. Listen, when you go to see a boxing match, Turkey has put on some of the best fights that couldn't be made in the last 30 years, in the short time that he's been in the sport. And when you ask him about, why get into boxing, I mean, this guy is incredibly passionate about the sport. Much like when me and the Fertittas got involved in the UFC, this is exactly what boxing needed. A guy like this to come in, bring it all together, make the big fights happen. And now, like he said at the beginning of this call, we are aligned in how we feel this needs to be built from the ground up, and we're just going to restructure the entire sport of boxing.
Yeah, and it'll be great for the sport of boxing to be all the way back. I know you have your feelings, and obviously you've stated them there about the influencer and celebrity boxing matches, but Jake Paul, Logan Paul, Floyd Mayweather fighting different people, that was bringing a lot of attention to the sport. I think now if you're able to showcase the greats of the sport, I think you're in a good time to hook them. Don't you think, Dana, to get the sport all the way back?
Well, those fights are always going to exist. They're always going to happen. Whenever you get, a couple of famous guys that want to fight each other that don't necessarily box, that's always going to be there. What we care about is finding the young up-and-coming talent and building these fights up to find out who the best is in each weight class. And there won't be 6 different champions in each weight class. There will be one. You will know who the best heavyweight is, who the best light heavyweight is, who the best, you know what I mean? And you can literally start calling up, if you start asking people, fans of the sport, who's the champion at this weight? Who's the champion this weight? People will actually know.
Okay, now boxing is next. Go ahead, Turkey. Go
ahead. If you excuse me, also we care about you, the young generation. When I came to the boxing, I have a lot of studies. The average of the fans now became 40 plus. The reason no one want to take the risk in the big fight, as Dana said, long event. Different platform to see the event, no big fights. For that, the young generation doesn't care. Now we are focusing a lot in the same times. Also with UFC, in the same times, we want video games, we want animation, we want movies, we want a lot of things, merchandise. This is a lot of things will happen. And with the relationship with TKO, they have the experience and the relationship with this man built franchise from scratch. We will success. And I want to tell you a secret. If he allowed me, ask him which the first event fight he will have in September. Ask him if you want to answer.
Hey, Dana, I have a question for you. Birdie just dropped in my ear the first event that's happening in September. I didn't know if you knew anything about that or anything going on.
Well, these are things that we want to pump the brakes on and announce these things when you do it right. My friend Turkey gets too excited and wants to go out and talk about
September. Congratulations, boys! Yeah! Congrats! We're happy for you. That is awesome. Well, go ahead, Dana.
We actually are getting together with him tomorrow. We're going to shoot some content. And when it's time to announce, we have a massive fight. Literally, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. A massive fight that only this guy could make happen. This man right here is the only guy that could make a fight like this happen. And
together, brother, together.
We will announce it when we're ready to. But this is the guy that has literally brought boxing back. Today is day one. We're making our announcement, and we're going to start building this this sport back up from ground zero.
That's awesome, man. September 4th, the world's going to change, man.
Let's go.
September 5th, maybe. Maybe September 6th. Who knows what day
is it?
Yeah, September 20th.
Maybe September 12th.
Oh, okay, maybe. Maybe it sounds like maybe it's September 12th. The sport of boxing will change forever. Okay, I'm excited to watch what you guys do with boxing, but I think your investment into sport is a cool thing from our perspective. Because, whenever it started and it started getting loud, it became a political conversation. It became a lot of negative conversation. But, like, investing in sport and in athletes, it is like, it's very easy to see why the world is so much more similar than it is divided. We all love people competing. We all love sports. We all love athletes. We all love people earning what they've worked for and getting what they deserve. So we would like to know, what's next after the boxing? Go ahead, Con Man.
Yeah, Turkey. Obviously, Pat mentioned all those other sports, and, I think golf more than anything was benefited greatly from LIV. Are there any other kind of projects, any other sports you're interested in getting into? Where there was reports about basketball potentially, I believe, last month. Or is there anything like that on the docket as well?
There is a lot of project. The responsible about it, the Prince Abdulaziz, the Minister of Sport, Abdulaziz bin Turkey in our country, and Mr. Excellency Yasser Rumayyan, also BIF. There is a lot of big surprise. There is a lot of big opportunity. They involve and they will announce it in the perfect time. And also, I am discussing with Dana very big things we want to do in the UFC in our country, and this power slap also. I like the power slap. He have a very big event in our country last month, and ask him about the numbers. The arena was almost 8,000 and sold out in minutes, and the people in my country asked to have it again and again.
Turkey, can we talk about your country? Seems like your people are very excited for these events. Why do you think that there is a narrative that, this would never work with Saudi Arabia and the United States of America? Why do you think that is the case?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Why do you think people thought that this wouldn't work? Sports kind of bringing together two countries, maybe. Why do you think that is the case?
Our relationship together is more than 90 years old now. A lot of our citizens study here, go to hospital here, go to vacation here, and a lot of Americans have very big jobs in our country, and we have a lot of things together. Every project we go together in is success in any case, and with this time, with our brave leaders and the leaders of America, we have success, and we think we will have success more and more. And I don't want to miss. I want all the cities, small things. I want to invite you all in the 2nd of May in Times Square. Let's come and see the fight in Times Square for the first time.
Okay, I can't wait for that. I heard that you guys are renting out Times Square, putting on 3 fights, I believe. May 2nd is my birthday. Quite a celebration, nice little birthday party out there in Times Square. Can't wait to watch this all continue to get started. And then obviously we've learned through this conversation, potentially maybe September 12th, maybe a boxing promotion changes the sport of boxing forever. Is there a Canelo potential? Is there a Canelo conversation around September?
I hope so.
Is there a...
I think that, when you talk about, like I said, what this guy has done, everybody's name is in the mix. Every big boxer on the planet is in the mix. And he literally walked Nick and I through, some of his plans, because he's got stuff that he's committed to already different than what we're building together. And when you see the stuff first of all, the idea of renting out Times Square is one of the coolest things that I've ever seen in my life.
Hilarious. Yeah.
And he has this whole AI model of how it's built out. It's incredible. It's one of the greatest promotions in the history of the world. And the other things that he has planned out for the next couple of years are unbelievable, fascinating, fun, and something that people are definitely going to want to see.
It's awesome news. Canelo on September 12th. I can't wait to watch. I cannot wait. Turkey Al Sheikh, Dana White, Nick, and I don't know if you could hear or not. Congrats to you, lads. Congrats to you guys. Can't wait to watch.
Thank you.
And thank you for the time. And Crown Prince, God bless him. That was awesome to hear you say. Is he involved in all these conversations, or how does that kind of work?
Yeah, I cannot do anything without his blessing. He's man of the details. He take care about everything, and he support about everything. And with his blessing and support, we will go far. There is small things also. I said to you, the Times Square in the 2nd of May, and there is small cards in the end of June in Alcatraz jail in San Francisco, and maybe me and
that's great.
Maybe me and Dana keep some promoter there.
Okay,
in the jail after the event.
Okay, all right, let's go. Okay, all right, we appreciate that. Is awesome.
Baby Dana.
Hey, the Diaz brothers have swum. They've swam, haven't they? The Diaz brothers, I think, have actually swam from Alcatraz to San Francisco. End of June. Can't wait. Hey,
but you know what, Pat? Think about this. Think about
that's hilarious.
Any of the sports all throughout history. This has to be the only sport that has generated trillions of dollars in revenue. And at the end of the day, there's nothing there. The sport is broken and fragmented. You can't make the fights that everybody wants to see. For the first time ever, the sport is actually being invested in. Everything's being pulled into one group, and it will actually be a functioning business in the next 5 years. Never been done before, ever.
Got the right people behind it. Can't wait to watch it all unfold. Congrats. What's the name of the promotion? Do you have a name yet?
Well, we're still working on that too. It's TKO right now. We're not sure if Turkey loves that yet or not, but we're working on it. All this stuff is being worked on.
Anything you do, I love. It is your call. You're the boss now.
Hey, that's good team right there.
Yeah. Boom.
Yeah. Shout out to the Crown Prince. God bless him. And we can't wait to watch what you guys do. Turkey, Dana, Nick Khan, TKO Boxing. Congratulations.
Yeah.
All right, what a convo. How about Nick sneaking his head inside there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How about Dana at the end?
Time out. We're not leaving it. Jesus.
Ask him about September.
I got a text from somebody that's potentially in that room. And they were like, "Oh, I didn't know we're doing this. Lob Canelo. It was like that was a shout out to that man. Nick Khan has been a I don't even know the proper word to say it. Mentor would be an understatement.
Blessing.
Yeah, God bless him.
God bless him.
Yeah.
God bless him. Certainly has been watching him just kind of operate and do his thing. And then whenever I'm in the middle of doing my stuff, because I don't have an agent. Okay, so all of the deals that have been negotiated thus far, basically it's me talking to the person and getting it done. So I'm having to sit in the room where it happened, these negotiations that take place. And obviously I'm representing myself. So normally whenever you're talking about a talent or a player or something, there's probably some negative things said during negotiation. You watch Pawn Stars, there's a ding here, there's a chip here, this is that, this happens. He potentially could piss off an entire country. Like all these things come up in these negotiations. So I get to the point where I just want to tell everybody to go fuck themselves. I mean, that is legitimately where I get to, where it's like, forget it. We'll just continue to work alone. We don't need to do this and all that. I'll call Nick. Nick will have such great guidance and hey, do you really want to do that? Maybe talk me down a little bit. Maybe give me different phrasing on how to go about doing things, but then also laying out a blueprint or a plan of let's think a little bit deeper here on what the real goal is. So whenever he goes from CAA over to WWE to run everything over there, and I'm already at the WWE, it was really cool to see him because he's a lifelong WWF, WWE professional wrestling fan, boxing fan, grew up in Vegas. Mm-hmm. So there's no sports team in Vegas. So it's boxing and WWF, they come through there, they do wrestling, does it. So that's who he was a fan of growing up. So watching what he's doing with the WWE now, and then now he's with TKO Group, which means he's with Ari Emanuel and Mark Shapiro and Dana White, watching those four, and Rock, Dwayne Johnson's in there, right. Watching those business minds come together and just getting a chance to be able to lob questions in and be like, hey, why are we doing, and then get an answer. It's I just got so much smarter there because of these people. So I'm I'm so impressed by the business. TV rights deal is going to be difficult, right? Liv just signed with Fox.
Yep.
That's a massive ordeal because just a few years ago, nobody would put them on TV. Remember, they did YouTube. YouTube was easily findable, but it wasn't necessarily the best production of the particular content. Then it goes on CW. Nobody knows where it is, but the reason why I was on CW and why I was on YouTube is because nobody would give any money because of the political landscape in conversation of things that have certainly happened in the past. But it does feel like, from talking to the people at WWE that have gone over there, and he said, we've had a relationship for 90 years, but certainly in the last 10 years, they've gone over there. From that point till now, it feels like there is a leadership group over there, Crown Prince, God bless him, and Turkey and everybody else, that are like trying to get their people caught up. It is an interesting thing, because if you just hold everything against people forever, is there ever a time where they can grow, and get better? I don't know. And there's some people that'll hang on forever. And I think if you listen to the people that have done business with the Saudis, they say, like, they're really invested. Like, obviously they have a massive amount of cash, a massive amount of money. But also they can choose to spend that money on themselves and Rolls Royces and everything like that. Sure. Instead, they're spending that money on athletes and sports and trying to build things. And it's like, well, they're only doing that for one reason. It's like, well, maybe the reason why you're saying potentially, maybe they are trying to market themselves better to the world. But I think they're also trying to market themselves better to their citizens. That like, hey, there's going to be better times and we're going to evolve and go in there. So I know there's people that are pissed off about anything that is potentially below board or could be considered that way. It happens, but it's like, if you just start looking into things that are going to piss you off, like, I mean, everything has.
You're going to find it.
Everything can piss you off, like that is legit. And obviously very serious stuff. We're not saying it's not, but it's like, it feels like they are trying their absolute best to become, caught up to the rest of the world. And I don't think that's a bad thing personally, especially because you only get one life. So like, shout out to the people that are living there now that are getting a chance to experience all this transition. It sucks before, but like, I think it's a cool thing. And I like that they're investing in athletes, because they had invested in a lot of businesses, basically every business. Basically every business the Saudi Arabian money has been invested in, whether it's through the stock market or actual personal investment through different titles and entities. And whenever those businesses would announce that those investments would come, the stock market would celebrate and people would celebrate. Way to go, way to get that round of investment and everything like that. Then as soon as it went to the athletes, it was like, whoa.
Can't do that.
Can't do that. What are we talking about? What are we doing? And then he started lobbing like very real, understandable, pissed off allegations at it. It's like, I think it's already happening. And the fact that they're adding sports in, it's helping athletes, we're appreciative of, but also the fact that it's potentially helping their citizens and their country as a whole, and maybe the world, Like, let's try to find some positive in it, And that boxing, I don't know how you fix it. Like,
you got to get the big dogs fighting the big dogs.
Canelo
that would be huge. Canelo, Bud Crawford, or like whoever, like the big guys, like even Mayweather and Pacquiao. Like we didn't get that fight until we felt like they were both past their primes because of all the other red tape and promoters and all the other bullshit you had to get through. So if you can get the top guys fighting the top guys in their prime, that fixes boxing. Because there was a time in this country where boxing was the top. Like, that was the number one sport for a while. And obviously football and baseball and other things took over. But
it's a star-driven sport.
Yeah.
Have to have stars, which is why the influencers are able to do it, because they're stars. They gather their own audience, or they spread their message or their character to people that they want to see them get their ass beat.
Yep.
Like that. Floyd Mayweather got to a point where a majority of the people watching those fights were like, I'm watching tonight to watch him get his ass beat. Or I'm watching for him to continue history. It's like either or, whatever the reason is, they at least know of his existence.
Watch it. Yeah.
If you don't know of the fighter's existence, it's hard to get attached to it. I think it's hard to find yourself. So whenever they're saying we're starting young and we're going to try to find some stars, while also utilizing the OGs probably of the sport that already have known names, because I think those contracts are very shady and also real in the boxing world. I don't know how they're going to get around all that. And then all the different titles, they're just planning on their title being worth and viewed better than everybody else's, because that's probably the only way you're going to get rid of some boxing promoter in Philadelphia. It's the world champ.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that is how boxing is kind of gone, right? I think.
Well, and like there are a bunch of actually like good heavyweights right now, but they are spread out over so many different promotions and everything, and guys that are like fairly young, like not just like Tyson Fury who fights once and then retires and then comes out of retirement. Like there are a couple other guys in like their young 30s, and like that when boxing was in its heyday, like you need to have good heavyweights, because obviously like it's fun watching guys like Floyd Mayweather and Ryan Garcia and some of these lighter guys, but like when you have two heavyweights boxing, like that is when it gets eyes, because it's like two gladiators going at it. And like Dana said, if he's the guy who can kind of cut through all the bullshit and all the red tape and be like, hey, these are two guys who are 250 pounds, they're the baddest dudes on the planet, outside of the UFC or whatever, like
these two guys are going to fight each other, like that will get eyes on boxing.
Also, they're going to have all the money in the world, so they could say, "Hey, you don't fight for that promotion anymore. You fight for our league, and we have one title."
Well, they did that with golf, and not everybody went though. There is, and not everybody was able to. I think.
golf was a lot more together than boxing. Boxing is so fractured that I feel like it might be easier.
I think them being able to eliminate a lot of the shadiness and what you're talking about, and all these just like different promoters who these guys end up fighting. The purses, put out as one thing, but then the promoter's getting 80% of the purse anyway, and it's like, wait a minute, like that's not what I was fighting for. I didn't think I was getting this money. Like if they can eliminate a lot of that, like I think you're going to see a lot of guys want to come fight for this.
Yeah, and that's like what one of Turkey's points was. Like, hey, we care about you. Like he made a point to say that, but to Ty's point as well, it feels like the last big like professional boxing match that we watched was the first Fury Wilder, and that was the heavyweight. Like those are the guys you're kind of drawn to, and I feel like more so in that too is neither of those guys were as polarizing as like Floyd. Where like Floyd, some people like you mentioned wanted to see him, get knocked out. Whereas Fury and Wilder, like you just want to see a great fight, and basically every single time they fought, it was a great fight, except for when Wilder came out with that 100-pound thing on and couldn't walk.
He's too heavy.
He's tired.
My legs were tired. Couldn't have any power. What do you want? Well, I wanted the Alabama Hammer. I bet on America.
Yeah.
And that was when Tyson Fury was. That was like my first time really watching Tyson Fury because the Alabama Hammer was going into England, I think, and he was going to beat him up. I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, I'll watch this.
He can move, Fury.
Tyson Fury's fucking.
We got carried out there. He was fresh.
Dude, I mean, he was. I watched that reality show about him.
Awesome. Dad still lives in that cart.
I mean, I guess if you're him, you can do whatever you want. Yeah, wagon.
Yeah, the wagon.
A couple gypsies over there doing their thing. The last fights have not been good for Tyson.
No.
Who knows how much he's been training. I feel like Tyson, if he was to actually train, once again, he'd be right back in to it all. And obviously, he's done some fights over in Saudi Arabia. Okay, we got some news back in football. Let's bring back AJ Hawk. AJ.
Oh, yeah, Hawker.
Back, AJ.
Las Vegas Raiders have been very active today. Adam Schefter just reported that Max Crosby has signed a 3-year, $106.5 million extension with $95.5 guaranteed, making him the highest non-quarterback in the history of the NFL. For the third time in 4 years, the Raiders are addressing the contract of their cornerstone player, this time cementing his relationship with the Raiders for the foreseeable future. The deal was negotiated by C.J. LeBoy and Doug Hendricks. Hey, Wasserman.
Yeah, LeBoy.
Who's Schefter get his information from?
Good question.
C.J. LeBoy and Doug Hendricks of Wasserman.
Everybody.
Nonetheless, great negotiation by C.J. and of Doug, getting the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history to be Max Crosby. This one day removed from Max Crosby on his podcast, I believe, coming out and saying, yeah, I'd love Aaron Rodgers to play for the Raiders. So a lot happening in Las Vegas. I believe they did another signing here while we were live as well. It was...
lineman?
It was
guy from the Bengals.
Alex Kappa signed a 2-year, $11.2 million deal with the Raiders of Cincinnati, formerly of Cincinnati. So you're talking about the Raiders just getting after it here. The Raiders are making big-time plays. AJ, what are your thoughts on what's happening in Las Vegas, and what are your thoughts on the fact that we know Tom Brady is hands-on in all of these decisions that are taking place?
Yeah, that's my first question. Obviously, I think it's smart to lock Max up. That dude is an absolute cornerstone of that franchise and will be for a while now. But I just wonder, like, how hands-on is Tom? Like, is Tom out there calling agents? Is he, was he meeting with anyone at the Combine? Did he pop up anywhere? Do we know?
I don't think he was in Indianapolis, but from what I've been told, he was talking to numerous people that were in Indianapolis. So I don't know.
So day-to-day, though, so it does sound like day-to-day Tom is heavily involved in everything going on in that building.
Brother, I was so surprised whenever I was hearing this shit because, and I forget who I said it to, and they're like, well, it's Tom Brady. Would you expect any less? I'm like, yes, I did, because he's a minority owner. He's not like the majority. Like, that is not how the NFL normally operates. But then everybody's like, it is Tom Brady, though. This is kind of how Tom Brady operates. So, like, makes sense that it's Tom Brady and he's doing it. But this is abnormal. I don't think a lot of people know this, that this is a very abnormal situation that a minority owner is operating both in interviews and strategy, everything. It's like, makes sense because it's Tom Brady. You'd want that. But what a perfect situation almost for the Raiders, who need to bounce back, are in a very tough division, and now they got Tom's big-ass brain in there working behind the scenes, and Max locked in for 3 years.
Makes sense because, I've Tom Unicorn, been to 10 Super Bowls, won 7 of them, but, building up that offensive line, I think it was Dan O we were talking to yesterday about I keep seeing this. I know Max said it, but as a potential spot for Aaron Rodgers, I don't know if Devontae would go back to Vegas, but Aaron Rodgers for sure, especially if you keep beefing up and investing into that offensive line. And you would anticipate that Pete Carroll's trying to build a team that's trying to win now. It's not maybe they get Aaron and still draft the quarterback, but the model, the goal is to win now. It's not a long-term build. Pete Carroll being there.
Yeah, and the Kappa makes sense. I believe he played guard for the Bucs when Brady won the Super Bowl down there with Tampa Bay. But boy, does that Max Crosby contract screw over the Browns and the Bengals, because if that's the standard now, and Trey Hendrickson's looking for a new deal and Myles Garrett's looking for a new deal, like it's hard to imagine any of them. And of course, Tony, TJ Watt.
Yeah, TJ's
I was gonna say that sets the table for Trey and Miles and TJ and Micah, because like all those guys are up within the year.
And Max,
91 guaranteed. 91 guaranteed for Max.
Good for him.
Awesome.
This is Max yesterday on the Rush podcast talking about Aaron Rodgers.
But it's a first year off an Achilles is one of the hardest things to do. You've seen it happen with Kirk. Kirk had a down year. It happened with Aaron. I mean, he struggled, like you said, early on, but he got better as the season went. I think with all the doubt and all the negativity around Aaron Rodgers, he needs to retire, things like that. He's getting cut by the Jets. I think he's going to come back and have I know he's 42 or 41.
Are you going to say MVP?
No, I think he's going to have a big year this year, and I hope it's in our town. That'll be
Hey, that'd be a great fit. Aaron Rodgers, obviously, he's gonna be spite Aaron Rodgers really soon. He's gonna be revenge Aaron Rodgers. Raiders seemingly have and want that culture anyways. Max Crosby, the pillar of the team, just got paid $101.5 million, $91.5 guaranteed. How do you feel about the way people are chatting about Aaron right now? I like it. Schefter's reporting Giants are interested. Max Crosby, who we're not saying he's coached GM or Tom Brady in the decision-making process, but maybe he is on the convo saying, wouldn't mind Aaron there. What are your thoughts on that matchup, AJ?
I like Max actively recruiting Aaron to the squad. But, yeah, I know there's talk of the Giants being very interested in Aaron. I think whether they're talking about it or not, the Raiders have to be kicking the tires on Aaron, as they say, right, and reaching out and seeing what his interests may be, what his goals might be, how long he wants to play possibly. Like, it would make sense for Aaron to go to the Las Vegas Raiders. We know he enjoys an occasional cigar as well, so he could join Max in the victory celebrations in the locker room.
Oh, yeah. And think about his desert house. We talked about this a couple days ago. The house he would have with the views he'd be able to.
God. He could take Devontae's house if Devontae doesn't come back.
Oh, yeah. Maybe some peyote. Didn't Devontae live in?
Wouldn't Aaron just live at Joshua Tree or Burning Man, wherever it is out there?
That's out there. Probably. That's not in Vegas.
Play a U2 record.
Right, Chris Angel put him up.
Chris Angel.
Float him over.
Can you imagine those two having a conversation? How wild that would be!
Oh man,
that needs to happen. Our conversation will continue on YouTube, ESPN Plus, Disney Plus, and TikTok Live. We can't thank you enough for allowing us to be a part of your day. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice, and might change your life. I don't know if I got it in.
I think so.
You got it. I think
you can probably tell because the game is still delayed, so we could watch the rerun over there.
Yeah, how about us being on two channels today?
Pretty cool. Tell you what, we're fucking heating up, boys.
We are, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean, Christian Kirk getting released, obviously the DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett. Then you get this.
Did we know DK was going to request a trade? That feels like news to me.
Tyler Lockett being out, DK Metcalf.
I swear every year for the past couple off seasons, the DK trade thing has been floated out there at one point.
I mean, we're alive.
He doesn't think they're a contender. Is that why?
I would assume everybody he knows is no longer in that building, and potentially watching his career slip away while everybody else is having monster success, and especially playoff football. Like, that's whenever you get talked about as being a great, whenever you're on prime time. How many of those will happen for Seattle? Lockett leaving. Obviously, Russ was gone a few years back, but Pete Carroll gets kicked out of the building. They're rebuilding over there, renew. And I'm not saying that means they're going to have a bad year, but they got a whole new vibe, probably whole new culture, whole new team. So DK saying, get me somewhere else. What's that?
Probably more money.
Yeah,
last year of his deal.
Yeah, I thought that he did the same. He had damn near the same deal as Debo.
Bingo.
So wouldn't he be going into his last year? I think, but who knows about guarantees?
So more money. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why he would potentially request it, and maybe they're at the stage where they're like, all right, yeah, we'll move on. We'll get somebody else. We won't pay DK, who's been a staple of our program, and DK on any team would be awesome.
He's only 27. Feels like he's been doing it forever. He's only 27.
Do $22 million. Tony Tory Dandy negotiated both contracts. Both are on the final years of their respective deals. Samuel has already requested a trade and has been granted such a wish. Now Metcalf due $22 million, also asked for one. Is that guaranteed $22 million, or is that one of those like
probably not
tail end of the contract that's like $4 million
Exactly.
guaranteed out of the 22? I think we should track the shit out of DK Metcalf's
And
contract right now.
With the numbers, too, that some wide receivers make, you'd assume he would want to be up in that 30 range versus 22 no matter what.
Yeah, let alone what the guarantees are in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, if it's similar to Debo, like you kind of have a framework for the compensation that Washington just had to give up, to get Debo. So, like, if teams were like, oh, man, we might have to get rid of a first or a second-round pick to get him, like, I don't know if that's necessarily the case when we saw Debo just go for a fifth.
Okay, so Trey Hendrickson hasn't been talked about. He said, pay me or trade me of the Cincinnati Bengals. Sam Hubbard retires this morning, the Cincinnati kid. That certainly opens up maybe some money for Trey Hendrickson, but certainly makes their team worse. What are your thoughts on Sam Hubbard, hometown kid, Cincinnati kid, retiring from the Bengals this morning, AJ?
Yeah, you're right. The true Cincinnati kid. He was from Moeller in high school, powerhouse down there in Cincinnati. But yeah, the fact that we all know that the fumble return for a touchdown is what you will remember, I think, when you think of Sam Hubbard. But I was a bit surprised that he retired. He's still so young. I feel like he still has some left in the tank, but who knows how his body might feel. But yeah, I'm happy for this kid. I remember watching him play at Ohio State, hearing about him when he was in high school. He's been a monster everywhere he's been.
Do you know him? Obviously, he's a Buckeye from Ohio, Cincinnati area. I assume you know him rather well, or no?
I don't know him that well. I talked to him a little bit back in the day when he was at Ohio State, actually, when I was doing stuff for Sirius, went in there and got to interview him a little bit. But people still talking about him at Ohio State all the time. He's one of those dudes, like tone setter, every day at practice, no matter what, no days off, like a good Ohio kid, no question.
There he is as a child, as a Bengals fan, and he said that all he wanted to do was bring good times to Cincinnati Bengals fans, because he was one. And this video was like, I got kind of emotional watching it,
Yeah.
Just as a Bengals fan as a kid and then going to Ohio State. And then he said at one point, these Cincinnati people have watched me literally since high school through college, become a man and grow up. And he's so thankful and appreciative, and obviously having to play like this. He was told by, I think Zach came up to him. I think in this video he says, Zach Taylor, the next one will be him in a car maybe here. He's going to be sitting in a car after getting a game ball. I don't know. In a car. Yep, there it is. He says in the car, he says that Zach comes up to him and says, like, hey, people are calling that like the greatest play in Cincinnati Bengal history. And like, he got like choked up about that because he's a Cincinnati Bengals. And like, that felt like a real thing between him and the Bengals.
Yeah.
And I didn't know about it until today.
Yeah.
And it's like, we should have been talking about that a little bit more.
You rarely get to see that story on any level of sports. You saw it, somewhat with Derrick Rose in Chicago, but for you to go to the NFL and spend your whole career and then get to a Super Bowl, obviously they didn't win it, they came up short, but to get the Cincinnati Bengals to a Super Bowl and take them to that height and be a big part of that, being a captain of the team you grew up a fan of, and then leaving the game on your own terms, like I said earlier, it has to feel good. And I'm excited for what he has coming up in the future. I'm sure there'll be some great things in Ohio.
Yeah, Ty mentioned this, I think. What this video told me is that Sam Hubbard's going to be able to do business with anybody he wants.
Yeah, it literally doesn't matter what he thinks.
Or the state of Ohio, let alone the state of Ohio as a whole, with how committed they are to the Buckeyes, and he was a Buckeye. But in Cincinnati, I think he could certainly just kind of
do whatever
he wants.
He should tomorrow just open like 40 car dealerships across the state of Ohio.
Yeah, or an investment fund.
Yeah, exactly. Something like
a couple restaurants.
Just there's money to be made.
Hubbard's Hangout.
And he did it the right way. He's earned it. Yeah, maybe it is Hubbard's Hangout.
Karaoke on Mondays, maybe. I don't know.
Whoa.
Yeah, and maybe he gets a corn. Maybe he gets
ask Hulk.
Maybe he gets a corn business, and he calls himself Corn Hubbard.
Boom.
You know what I mean?
That'd be
and
cool.
They call it Corn Hub. Sam Hubbard's Corn Hub.
That'd be sweet.
Because we don't know if he's a farmer or not.
Yeah, they got good corn.
He could become a corn star.
It's all right.
Could.
You don't like Corn Hub?
No, he said they got good corn. It's okay. I mean, it's not.
Ohio does not have good corn.
Whoa.
Who?
Yeah,
Ohio.
They do.
Oh, I thought you said Iowa.
You guys.
Great corn. Great corn.
known
I used
for
to work.
corn.
I used to work for Terry Mussetter next to the Centerville High School, and I used to go pick corn off the cob, go put it in the microwave, put some butter on it, and serve it to him, and then I'd eat some as well.
Okay, I'm happy you served this old man.
Give it to him.
Okay,
He was
I'm
my
happy you
boss.
served him.
Terry, he was my boss. He had me go over and grab it.
Yeah, I understand.
Butter,
Listen, as a child, you used to go pick corn for an
I was
older
like
gentleman.
16. Like 16. I drove his truck for him. Yeah, it was a landscape company.
Yeah, I understand. You got to wash his back too. Things get hard,
No, I
especially
never
whenever-
touched him. Never touched him, but we'd shared some meals.
Oh, he
Yeah,
touched you.
certainly did. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
No, he did not.
The hell?
Anyway, You guys are more a bean, right? Because I know knee-high about the 4th of July is corn. Ohio ain't a big corn state.
There's no beans. Ohio's not beans.
Beans.
Yeah, you guys are bean town, I think.
Nah.
You don't even know your soul. You don't even know your soul.
I've had multiple people ask me, so did you grow up on a farm? I was like, no, I don't actually know anybody that grew up on a farm, to tell you the truth.
I've driven by them. They exist.
Yeah.
You should think about these Amish people. Those are the best. Humans that don't know about Amish people. There is a civilization in multiple states of humans living with no electricity.
Quote unquote.
Mm-hmm. Hey, what's the quote?
Some are more strict than others, yes.
Yeah.
Now you're
solar
talking
panels?
about the Amish are supposed to be because there's what's that other group called?
The Mennonites.
The Mennonites are like kind of like
Amish light.
A less disciplined, an Amish light. They're a less disciplined Amish group.
Yeah.
Kind of do the Amish shit, but they also do some of the modern shit.
Okay.
The Amish though supposed to be no electricity, no power, no nothing. Like they just live off the land and off everything like that. What I have learned, because old Tim McAfee goes from truck driving to working in the cabinet business and the wood business, and they are very prevalent in the wood business and the cabinet business, these Amish people, because their woodworking is...
Build houses quick.
Quick.
Oh,
yeah, they're quick in and out. They may or may not just kind of fudge the rules a little bit. They might have a shed back in the woods that has electricity run to it and DirecTV that they hit up somebody at a gas station to do for them, and they pay them straight cash because that's what they deal with, because they don't have to pay taxes for anybody. So they watch football every single Sunday back in that shed, But then they get out there, turn the lights off, and they go, hey, let's get back to work, Jeremiah. The entire thing. So there's a little bit of a give and take. But yeah, the Amish are absolute animals. I mean, they are studs. You need anything built, they can get it figured out. Business-wise, they will shut you down, too. There's a video showing on here. I mean, this is like one day they're able to build.
This is not sped up. This is live.
This is them live, yeah. This is not 2x speed.
No, seriously.
Yeah, we saw them up at...
That's why you have 50 kids.
Golf, yeah.
They're on Rumspringer. Yeah, they literally reproduce for work. All of them have farms. All of them have some sort of hustle that involves very blue-collar work.
Showed out in November.
What's that?
The Amish.
What's that?
About 180,000 of them in Pennsylvania.
Okay. All right. I forgot. I forgot that was a big story.
Well, I mean, it's just because last night it's all coming.
I was going to ask Dana. I was like, Dana, I thought you were going to pop out there. Thought you were going to come in and cut a promo. Wait till you see tomorrow.
Yeah.
Saving boxing. Like this man saving the United States of America. What a scene, man. What a scene. That's always so interesting. The song and dance that they play with the stand, the sit, the sands, the boo, the claps, the signs.
So weird.
Yeah.
Brought signs in last night.
Sitcom-esque claps.
I don't keep up with enough to really fully understand what's going on, but boy, there was one side that was not happy about what was going on. It wasn't a full side, though. There was a little parcel that was kind of the other side having a good time. I kept thinking about that group. They're just surrounded by people that I don't think are allowed to even look like they're having an okay time. Like, don't even be caught on camera. And then he's just standing, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And we're talking claps that are like, oh, yeah.
Big ones.
Boom. And then even looking over,
in their face.
Yeah, it was a real show. I didn't expect that. I did not.
Yeah, old buddy got booted early on. I turned on right as the guy was getting thrown out of the place.
That's a real heel play with the cane, pointing the cane at the
They need to mic up the audience. If they're going to yell at them, we want to hear the insult.
Yeah, it was hard to listen, I think.
Yeah, how'd you get home so quick, AJ?
Yeah, were you in there? I didn't see you get shouted out in the gallery. Up top,
I was not.
Next to DJ, shout out to DJ, 13-year-old kid. That was a cool moment.
Yes.
Dad lifted him up. I just thought about the dad probably.
Overcome with emotion.
I couldn't even imagine. 2 seats down, off camera, you didn't see it. College football national champion.
And he was sitting down.
All right. What have we not talked about? Okay, Browns are doing their top 30 visit up in Cleveland. They had 3 people together. It was supposed to be 4, allegedly. Shador Sanders, Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, all currently in Cleveland or were in Cleveland overnight doing their top 30 visits. This is whenever they're meeting with everybody individually. I don't think they do workouts, but they do a dinner, they do this. There has been individual ones that have been talked about basically since the beginning of these things existing. And then over the last few years, we've learned of group settings where guys want to see how guys interact with other people. They'll even take them to Topgolf sometimes, see how guys compete, how they handle adversity, how they handle public settings. I mean, everything's an evaluation, but currently the Browns, who have the number 2 overall pick and are allegedly taking a quarterback regardless, have 3 players in from the draft, the top 3 guys. And then allegedly Cam Ward was supposed to be there, but something happened travel-wise or logistics-wise, so he'll be going in by himself, which might be best for all parties whenever they look at it. What do you think these teams are looking at whenever they're doing the top 30 visits? And if you're the Cleveland Browns, what are you thinking with the boys?
Man, I mean, bringing the guys in as a group is definitely something that started, I don't know how many years ago, but I know at least when I was taking visits, it was, I don't know if I ever went in with a group. It was always one-on-one stuff. The group thing I like. I think it's, first off, as the team, if you're hosting these guys, think you got 30 visits. You got to host guys every day. Like hey, we got work to do here, man. Like we can't just continue to host these guys like we're a college recruiting service, I guess. But you just want to see how they are. You want to see how they interact with your training staff, with other people, with everyone else. Like do they throw their food? Do they throw their plate away? All those little things, like they are being evaluated on what a really human they are. They kind of know what kind of player they are, but they want to really get their eyes on them and say, like, does this guy love ball? That's all that matters. Like, no matter what, with their skill set, we can make something work. But if he doesn't love ball, I can't do anything with him. So they just want to make sure that you're committed to the game.
And does this guy suck? You know, that's
something. And does he suck? Yeah. Do we hate being around this guy too? Like, hopefully you keep him around long enough to where if they are faking it and they're acting all peppy and with a little pizzazz, then you can kind of break through that to where you're like, okay, you see the true self of who that person is.
That's all you're trying to do, especially with number 2 overall. You can't miss, especially with what you just did with Deshaun Watson. You can't miss. Yeah. And number 2, they're going to try to dot all I's, cross all T's. You know, Oregon, I talked to Dan Lanning, because of how far they are out there, the recruiting visits are all like kind of like a weekend where everybody comes as opposed to just like a bunch of them. So they said that actually, you know, it is far, which is not great for some people, but the recruiting schedule is much easier because we at least know what's happening. To your point about the top 30 visits, I also like the group thing because you can see how people interact with each other.
That's how mine were.
Yours were all group?
Group, yeah. Like I came out same class, 09, but yeah, all groups, Vikings, Jets. I think Jets had just had a brand new facility, but yeah, you're just looking at how they interact with each other, how they act, because and that was before social media was as big and prevalent as it is. So a lot of us was just sizing each other up, having conversations. The first time you see this other guy, whether it's Malcolm Jenkins or Vontae Davis, you see a different guy. You bring a group of DBs, group of corners, group of quarterbacks, whatever it may be. But yeah, they can definitely see how guys interact with each other, how they communicate with each other for sure.
Cam Ward, QB1, right in everybody's eyes?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Seemingly.
Reports at least, yeah.
That's what it seems like.
And Schefter's come out and said that the Browns are taking a quarterback because they have to. Because of the contract that Deshaun has, can't have another quarterback that is worth anything more than a rookie contract, whatever it is. And that's the way they've built that contract or that salary cap, and that's the way they've built the roster. And I think the reason why Andrew Berry and Stefanski are still there is because I think ownership was the one that probably made the decision to give the $230 million guaranteed to Deshaun Watson and give him every single thing he could ask for so that he had all the leverage contractually if it didn't work out. And it did not work out, and we're currently sitting in the middle of it, and that contract was certainly negotiated in Deshaun Watson's favor. So I think there's a chance that was 100% ownership that made that decision. And to Andrew Berry, I know every single time Andrew comes in and says, well, here's the problems that we have. We're obviously battling against this. And the owner goes, well, I know. Yeah, I know. I did it. So Andrew Berry now is going to have to build around that. Denver Broncos have been able to do it. Biggest dead cap in the history of the NFL. Last year, they bring in Bo Nix. Nobody thought that Bo Nix was going to be drafted that high. Sean Payton loves him. They go on a run in a very difficult AFC West. You get a guy, young, that is a good. That could be your franchise. Why not turn that thing around? Good luck to the Browns.
Yeah. You wonder if they put all the money in 1 year and then have him retire. Seriously.
Have who?
Deshaun. If Deshaun's I'm done. I'm not going to play anymore. And then so he doesn't lose a bunch of money. It's they just eat it.
Yeah, I think.
Is that even possible?
I think Deshaun's showing up and wearing a T-shirt and hats.
Collecting the.
Yeah.
No doubt. That's what I'm saying. If they tell him, hey, listen, Deshaun, we can't do this for 3 more years. Why don't you just take all the money this year?
Oh, my God.
You're hurt. You're going to
just take a 1 year.
Just take a 1 year.
279.5.
You get it all.
Salary cap. We owe $155 million to Deshaun Watson.
It'd be a better deal to do it right now than for it to last 3 more years because that's what they're looking at.
Yeah, but you can take it. You can take that in pieces. You might be able to build a team. Might have some chemistry like the Denver Broncos were able to accomplish.
Yeah, but they can at least split it over 2 years. Remember the splits that they have with the Deshaun deal? It's $70 million.
And then $90 million.
Yeah. It's absurd. At least with a $50 million is one thing. A 70 and a 9. Yeah, it's 2 more years.
Mulligeta. We'll get to see.
But what about, can't they, isn't there something to him tearing his ACL or his Achilles again, not in the facility? Are they trying to go after that?
I'll tell you what, there's been a lot of things that you think that they could potentially get through. We haven't seen a single one.
Yeah, any normal thing that would be in a normal contract, sure, but this is not a normal contract, and they put it in there everywhere. Like, no matter what, he's getting all his money, basically.
No matter what.
Yeah.
And then they go to a different section with a clause, and it just says, no matter what. And then the next one, no matter what. And then they take a thing and force the jours in there, and they just, They're the only contract that's been signed ever since COVID that doesn't have a force majeure thing in there. I think from what we've heard about that deal, it is heavily slanted in Deshaun Watson's favor. So what do the Browns do? We shall see. Do the Titans take quarterback?
They should.
Nobody's talking about the Titans taking a quarterback. They don't have
They staying there? They keeping that pick?
I have no idea.
I mean, it sounds like no one's really trading up for it.
Definitely should.
But nobody's talking about them taking a quarterback, really. It's like they're taking because he said generational in an interview.
I suppose it depends on how many teams start to get real hot on like Cam Ward, because we've heard about like if the Giants lose out on Rodgers, they might be interested. So like if the Browns want it too, then one of those teams you would assume maybe trades up to one so they don't get leapfrogged by the other team who's interested in Cam Ward.
Cam Ward, I think by all accounts, is going to be a guy at this point. Now, granted, there's a lot of people that have been said to be a guy in the NFL and have certainly busted, but maybe the more you learn about Cam, the more you like him. Maybe more teams do, and maybe it gets louder. Maybe Shador, same exact thing. Maybe Will Howard.
Could be.
Is able to get in and sit down interviews.
People are sleeping on him, you're right.
Yeah.
Well, they were sleeping on him, and then they were woken up at the combine, and now they're openly hating. But it's good. Keep that chip on your shoulder, national champ. Keep that chip on your shoulder, national champ.
I think Cam and Shador go 1-2 when it's all said and done. I know it's a smear campaign with Shador for whatever reason that people are putting shit out there for him, but as quarterback needy as the NFL is and these teams, he's shown enough tape. He's shown enough. A lot of people are saying, hey, if these guys were in a different draft, I think if they're in last year's draft after Caleb, Jayden, and Drake, these guys will be right up in the conversation with Bo Nix and J.J. McCarthy. So I think these guys go 1-2. Then Abdul Carter is that freak show of a pass rusher, and then Travis Hunter.
Yes.
It's just so those will be obviously the top 4 picks, but I think 1 and 2 will be quarterback.
Okay, that means Jackson Dart potentially moves into a top 10 pick. I mean, there is so much that kind of falls in place after that. Where's Sam Darnold? Where's Kirk Cousins? There's a lot of storylines going in to the draft. Let's pivot away from the NFL. Let's go back to college and doing good. J.J. Solinger is reporting that $4.5 million was raised on the Buckeye Cruise this year.
Wow.
Shout out Ryan Day and all the current players that made it unforgettable for the people. Y'all make such an incredible impact. To all the volunteers and staff, thank you. This trip recharges J.J. Solinger every single year. Congratulations, A.J. and all the Buckeyes. All the Buckeyes.
They got off the boat this morning, I guess, down in Fort Lauderdale. So, J.J. Solinger played basketball at Ohio State. The dude's like he's like the cruise captain, basically. He brings the juice for sure.
Him and General Bob obviously running the ship. And when you go out to the seas for 2.5 months and you raise $4.5 million, you're going to feel very good about yourself.
Yeah.
This is the longest cruise.
Like 6 days, maybe.
Okay, longest cruise in mankind. But they're raising money for a great cause. Children's cancer, I do believe, is what the Buckeyes cruise is raising. Research, not to you get it. And
James Cancer Hospital, yeah.
You're a massive piece of that, AJ. Legit. That's like a non-negotiable for you because it's always our first week back and we've taken 2.5 weeks off. So like you have a job, but it's like, got the Buckeye Cruise. And it's like, all right, fuck it. 3.5 weeks off for AJ Hawk, I guess. And then, every time you go and we hear the stories and we see that, it's like worth it. Well worth it, especially just because the stories of General Bob that are going to linger out of your mouth from this Buckeye Cruise, just 100% worth it. What a magical thing. The Buckeye alumni in the Buckeye operation is a great one. Congrats on national championship. Congrats on raising money. And Ryan Day, I assume he was treated a lot differently than maybe just 1 year ago on this particular cruise, AJ.
Yeah, I mean, people obviously, coming off a national championship and the run they had, people were pretty excited. And Ryan Day and his whole family were there the whole time as well, which is a huge commitment for a coach. Think about it. They get 0 days off a year, and they're on that thing from start to finish, him and his whole family. And he makes his son, RJ, get up and speak in front of everybody every year. He's done it 3 years in a row now. His son's a sophomore in high school, did a great job. They do things the right way. It was a good thing. Good time.
If you know that all the boosters that take care of your program are going to be in one place for 6 days, and you get a chance to maybe sail around the Caribbean, probably not a bad play. No. And we hope that Ryan Day enjoyed himself a little bit, but I assume there's a lot of this for him and all of you. The Buckeyes are well on their way. Who's quarterback next year?
We will see. I mean, it's up for it. Julian Sane is who people talk about being the guy.
How do they feel about the team?
Good. People feel great. I mean, they're always reloading. Always. They had current guys there. Caleb Downs was on the boat. Igbinosin. Like, there's the dudes out there.
Favorites to win it.
Yeah, are they really?
Mm-hmm.
These Buckeyes.
They reload.
They're going to be sailing the sea next year once again, national champs. That boat might get flipped.
Yeah,
good.
Think how tough it is to win the national championship now. Like, forget the regular season. Forget all your regular season. That just puts you in position to have a chance. And then you got to go win 4 gigantic football games.
You have to show up. You have to show up 4 straight games or 3, depending upon this. That's the thing with college football. Can you show up? Can your team show up? That's why we see such massive upsets, because it's like you're dealing with 18, hopefully, to 23-year-old guys, 22-year-old guys, even though we know 26, 27-year-olds are still kind of lingering.
Get them out of there.
And everything like that. The punting situation that's been happening since Australia, I think, is getting talked about too a little bit. They've been 28, 29, taking scholarships from young kids. And obviously the game open to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful story. Let's just make sure we're doing it the right way. But getting that age of human to show up every single week in the biggest moment and stay focused and locked in and perform at a high level, that's why the upsets are so often. That's why college football is insane. And for that playoffs, it's a long haul of showing the fuck up. That's a long haul of having show. And the Ohio State Buckeyes showed up the best that they had ever been, basically, in the biggest games.
Yeah, played their best when they needed it most. Has Ohio State gone back-to-back before?
That's a great question. I don't think so, no.
If they would have, you would have probably heard about it, I think, right?
Yeah. I mean, Archie won the Heisman twice. He's the only one to ever do that. They celebrated Archie when I was on the boat. That was great. 50th anniversary of him winning his first Heisman.
Shout out to Archie. First Heisman, then have the 50th anniversary of him winning his second anniversary next year. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be a pretty good little time out on the boat. And I think that's why I like Will Howard so much. Biggest games, played his best ball. And it's like, is he a gamer? We shall see. Is he an NFL guy? We don't know. That guy is, though. Jeremiah Smith, he was fun. He was very fun to watch. I mean, Tate, Igbuka, Judkins, Henderson. Who's the tight end? Great name.
Oh, Kazmarek, you're talking.
Kazmarek, there
great
it is,
name.
yeah.
I mean, they played good ball, man.
Yeah, great team.
Left no doubt. Pretty much beat the shit out of everybody.
Yeah.
That Texas game, was a little bit, but like watching it, it was like, this is the better
You guys
team.
saw how they set the tone. That Tennessee game was there. That was something special about that one.
And then Oregon the next week.
Was it like 35-0 in the second quarter?
Same thing. I mean, it was like they just came out and were like, we're better than you. That is legitimately what this is. Can they do that all year next year, AJ? Can any team do it all year? Will there ever be an undefeated team again?
I mean, they don't care about beating Michigan anymore. We know that. 'Cause it doesn't matter anymore.
That is the thing, right?
Yeah.
It still matters.
What's that?
It still matters. We know that.
Nobody brought it up on a boat today this year, I bet.
I don't think it was brought up too much. You're right.
Oh, there's old boozing.
You don't talk about the games you lose, right? You talk about the games you win.
Hey, Ryan.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you imagine? I hope that
Coach
didn't happen.
still can't fucking beat Michigan.
Yeah, I'm playing. I know.
Seriously.
I hope not.
So many Ohio fucks. We didn't
Seriously, you get that shit. You get
We
that.
win that and the national championship, Rod. Right? Yep. We're with you, Bob. Walks away. Ryan Day. Oh, yeah, I got to act like I haven't heard that before.
Yeah.
Next person comes up. Fuck Michigan. Won national championship. You going out to the in-pool Pilates? Got a big one, like General Bob's leading it. I couldn't imagine that many fucking, I'm not saying FIFOs, okay, because not everybody is. I couldn't imagine that many Ohioans on a ship for that long getting that boozed up.
You can. Yeah, you can. I think you can imagine exactly what it is. People, a lot of camaraderie, a lot of fellowship, people very excited, a lot of OHIOs around the boat, wherever you're at. They get people working the boat saying OH. Like, yeah, it's a good time.
It's got to be pretty insane at times, though. I assume it gets pretty rowdy.
Yeah.
I assume that's a pretty rowdy boat, I assume.
Yeah, I mean, like 18 years straight, a lot of the same people have been going on that thing. So, yeah, it's like family.
Well, I'm happy you guys did good for the world. $4.5 million. Boozing on the Buckeye Cruise, raising money. Called a booze cruise for a bunch of Ohioans. Speaking of, doing good for the world, did you hear what Messi did to Houston? Did you hear about this?
I actually did not hear that.
Drama in the MLS down there in Houston. We obviously don't have all the inside information on it, but let's throw to brand new soccer show, the Concaifa Show.
He doesn't go to Houston. Houston sends out the thing. People are pissed off. I have a hard time because it's like, if a couple years ago somebody told you Busquets, Jordi Alba, and Suarez were going to Houston to play a soccer game, I imagine people would be pretty juiced. I understand Messi's a different gravy, but like, I don't know, man. I didn't love that statement from the Houston Dynamo, to be honest.
I'm with you.
That's your old team.
Oh yeah, you are a Dynamo.
I just think it just makes the
Mickey Mouse
like ridiculous a little bit. Like, come on, we have to issue a statement because Messi's not here. When does that ever happen around the world?
Never.
It doesn't. Never.
MLS.
Well, I'll give you an example.
Easy age.
2008, the first game we played in FC Dallas was against LA Galaxy. And it was a sold-out crowd for Beckham, because in 2007, when Beckham first came, FC Dallas sold it out, and he didn't show up because of his ankle. And it was this whole big deal that the fans were going to upset, and so Dallas had to create a whole new game. So it's not the first time it's happened, but yeah, I agree. Both instances that it's just looks silly.
Look, silly. You know what's not silly? The Concaifa Soccer Show. Gumpy, congratulations. You, Jeff Cameron, Breck Shea, and I assume many others will join. How excited are you for that? And is the MLS okay now that Messi's maybe taking some games off?
Thank you for the opportunity, brother. I appreciate it. We talked about doing this show for a long time. Jeff Cameron and Breck Shea know a lot about soccer. They've played England, all over the world, played for the U.S. I think Jeff Cameron, 55 caps, Breck Shea, 34. Like, were very good. They were very good on our team, and MLS is in a good spot right now. I don't know about the Concaifa Champions Cup, Inter Miami playing in Jamaica coming up. That's interesting, but MLS is moving in the right direction.
Concaifa, obviously, is the group of nations that are near us that all play against each other.
Yeah.
It's actually called CONCACAF. Okay, and it's the Confederation of something in football.
Yeah, bingo.
Yep.
Concaifa sounds better.
Way better.
And that's also the name of our team from the soccer tournament 7-on-7, where we made the elimination rounds, go all win, and
couple.
Yeah, we were learning the lay of the land too. I mean, that's first time being dropped in there and kind of learning the entirety of it all. So the Concaifa Soccer Show, obviously Jeff Cameron, Breck Shea, massive pieces of the Concaifa SC. And Gump, I'm excited to keep up. When is that show going to be released?
I think it'll be released tomorrow morning, and then moving forward, we might do Sunday and release Monday morning. Not too sure. I think Monday morning release probably be best to wrap up the entire week.
Okay, so when does soccer happen? That's when it happens over the weekend mostly, is when it kind of ends? Or?
So it happens all weekend, but then you got the Champions League on Tuesday and Wednesday right now. So it's kind of Sunday night would be the best to wrap it all up.
Okay, excited to watch and learn on Monday morning. It's not too long, right? We're not doing too much of this, right?
20 to 30 minutes.
Okay, that's good. Let's start there.
How do you know what leagues to focus on? There's like 4,000 soccer games a day.
That's a good question.
So there's the main leagues like Bundesliga. Bayern Munich's running away with it right now. Liverpool, EPL, they're up 13 points. Serie A, the title race is close. And the Liga, the title race is also really close. So you kind of just focus on those. And then Champions League, top dog, and MLS, absolutely.
Thank you, yeah. You almost left it at.
I'm as big a Inter Miami fan as you're going to find.
That's true. You got a lot of their kits.
Uh-huh.
A lot of their kits.
Clean.
I think I saw a good kit on for this particular episode.
Yeah.
All right, we appreciate you doing the soccer. World Cup's coming to town.
Hell yeah.
And then it's going to Saudi in 2034.
Yep.
I don't know what was breaking news or not. Feels like Turkey was just saying things.
He was kind of just letting it in.
He's got
World
a lot
Cup
of
thing
news.
was out there.
Crown Prince, God bless him.
Mm-hmm.
Has to obviously. That was awesome.
I heard KSI's fighting at Alcatraz.
Really?
The YouTube guy. That's what. When I saw the Alcatraz thing, I saw KSI connected somehow.
So is that June? Is that what?
I don't think it's going to be on this promotion.
No, but
Yeah,
I
it's
think
different. Yeah.
I think Dana said that Turkey was committed to other things already.
Okay.
And then you're going to have ours going on as well. So I think that's potentially why he brought up the June and the May 2nd thing. May 2nd, Times Square. I don't think that's what this either. I think this is probably something he is.
That's Ryan Garcia, right?
Yes, that'll be sick.
He's back.
That's something he's probably already committed to business-wise and promotional-wise. And then what Nick, Dana, in Turkey are going to create is a new entity seemingly going
September.
forward, starting September 12th
Mhm.
with rumored Canelo.
Yeah.
Which has not been confirmed, but certainly ask him about September.
It wasn't denied either.
And Dana just going, no, we'll do. Today's announcement is that this is happening.
Time out.
We got another day of announcement, Turkey. Turkey
Doesn't have a name yet.
Tell him. How about Canelo? Yep. And Dana goes, anything is possible with Turkey being like, I wish Turkey would have dropped in, but yes, Canelo. That would have been awesome. What a convo. What a wild day. We can't thank you all enough for joining us. All right, H, we're going to get out of here. Big night out. Date to be released Monday.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
Feels like I didn't think about that decision before I said it.
Well,
I like it.
Monday's a big
fire
day.
from the hip.
Monday.
Free agency Monday?
Monday.
Monday we'll release the date of said show, and then tickets will go on sale shortly afterwards because this is all happening relatively soon. That is the only tip or hint that we will be dropping. Millions and millions of dollars will be given away that evening. There will obviously be huge surprises. Actually, just got texted a new one that has been confirmed, and pretty excited about that.
Oh, yeah.
Piecing together something I believe will be considered unprecedented, but also at the end of it, we'll say we need to do that more often. We need those types of things more often. Hopefully this will trigger others to maybe do something similar, or for us to continue to do these. It should be a beautiful night of celebrating life and hopefully bringing people together, because that's what it's all about. Even though it seems like my name and the things that I say are certainly part of it's not what I'm trying to do at all, ever. Okay, hopefully just trying to bring people together. And I think on this particular evening, on Big Night Out in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, it'll be on display fully. All right, be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change their life. We're in this. Oh, no. Baseball. Fuck. This doesn't happen often.
Ever. Well.
When we need to talk about baseball, it is normally whenever something that doesn't happen on a regular basis in the history of the sport happens. And we have to address it because we are a sports program. Baseball, obviously not a sport that I am very well informed on. Did not grow up playing. Obviously grew up in Pittsburgh, so I understand Jason Kendall's pop time is absurd. Okay. And the Pirates have always stunk since I've been alive, so I haven't really invested in it. Been more of a hockey guy instead of a baseball guy. But as I've grown older, I've understand to come to realize what is respectable about the sport. It is something that takes a long-ass time, so you need to be committed for a long-ass time. You got a lot of games, so you need to be committed to your team for a long-ass time. You got to have incredible skill, obviously, to do something that's very difficult, which is hit a baseball. And speaking of baseball, those who are throwing them right now are throwing them better than ever. Paul Skeens going to the Pittsburgh Pirates is exactly what got me back into baseball. And then you start watching Shohei do his thing and everything that's happening with Juan Soto and the amount of money that he's making in the big teams, with the big leagues, with the big guys having great runs. It's certainly good for the sport. But I turned on an Atlantic 10 game the other night, and I'll tell you what, I seen something that I need to see more in baseball. Not a single home run, Ty, but this second inning is being talked about. Just the second inning is being talked about everywhere.
Yeah, this is the most runs scored in an inning of baseball, I think, in, 42 years, something like that. George Mason taking on Holy Cross. Not exactly two powerhouses, but if you just watch this clip, like you said, no home runs. You're seeing a lot of seeing eye singles, a lot of tappers back to the pitcher, errant throws, errors, that kind of stuff. Total in this inning. Okay, so George Mason, first batter up in the inning. He grounds out. And then Holy Cross proceeds to basically give up 19 straight base runners. Okay?
19? How many people are on the team?
9. So 9 guys hit. That 19 consecutive batters reached base. They sent 28 guys to the plate in the inning. Total, like I said, they scored 23 runs. Okay, so the 19 hitters that reached base, it was walk, hit by pitch, fielder's choice, or singles. Okay, they had 4 doubles to drive in the runs, but I mean, we're not talking home runs, we're not talking triples, we're talking little tappers back to the pitcher, guy throwing it over the first baseman's head, throwing it over the catcher's head, stuff like that, little seeing eye signals. This is the type of inning that probably we won't see this again in our lifetime. Jet Passon lays it out here. This is the exact run through of the entire inning. Holy Cross had 5 pitchers in the inning and committed 3 errors. Now they did. I will say for Holy Cross, they made it respectable. Okay, they came back. They scored 6 runs, so they only got beat by 20. They were down 23-0 after this inning, which
Yeah, it's tough. Second inning. That's early in this thing.
Oh God, and
we got a lot of baseball left.
And I was watching this. The right fielder for Holy Cross, got to see one ball. So that guy's just standing out in right field for like an hour and 15 minutes. Just picking his ass, doing whatever. You can't chaw in college. I'm sure they've cracked down on Zinn, so that guy's just standing out there just wanting to kill everybody on his team, every pitcher, every infielder. Like, Jesus Christ. He honestly, he may have quit. I don't know if he's still on the team today. Because if you're in an inning like that, you at least want a little bit of action. At a certain point.
Let me contribute. Let me gun somebody down.
Or you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to throw this from the outfield as hard as I can. Sure. I might try to throw it over the backstop. Fuck it.
Everybody else is
Yeah, exactly. We're already getting beat by 23 runs. There's no way in hell we're going to win this game. But this is why college baseball is also awesome, because you're going to get some of the top-end stuff in the SEC where we're seeing guys like Paul Skeens and guys who are going to be, first-round talent who we're going to see in the major leagues in a couple years. And then you're going to get some teams like Holy Cross who, on any given day, could give up 25 runs in an inning. Can't field a ground ball. Can't throw it to first base.
Can't make the right decision. Yeah. I watch baseball very limited. And even if you hear 3, 3, 3, like where you're trying to throw the ball to, seems like they made tactical errors like 15 different times. So they're throwing to second, guys already going to third, then they overthrow to third.
Three guys in the same place.
And there's shit going on that you may be seeing, like if you're got a good 8th grade team and you're playing against like a really shitty 8th grade team, like the oldest trick in the book, you got a guy on first base, you got a guy on third base. You have the guy steal second base and see what's going to happen, because there's a good chance that when he steals second base, they're going to try to throw him out. He's going to be safe, and then that guy on third is just going to run home. Like that's like a little league
toying with him.
Yeah, exactly. And usually either the second baseman or the shortstop is going to come up, cut off that throw, and boom, you peg the guy at home, and you get an out. You at least get one there. But they're just thinking like, hey, fuck it, let's have the guy on first steal. We are guaranteed to score that guy on third base. It happened a couple times, just little shit like that. Like you mentioned, a little dribbler down the line, which should be a single. Well, you fast forward a little bit, it clears the bases, and somehow that guy ends up on third base. How the hell did that happen? And then you fast forward a little bit later. Well, wait a minute, the bases are loaded now. And then they walk 2 guys in a row, 3 guys in a row, get a couple
bases
more.
Bases are still loaded.
Yeah, bases still loaded. And somehow they've scored 4 runs since the last time the base. I mean, it crazy. And like I said, you probably, especially in a D1 college game, like we'll probably never see someone else score 23 runs in an inning in our lifetime.
Well, doesn't Holy Cross have an easy series coming up?
So I looked it up. Someone I think was just joshing. Someone basically said like, well, at least for Holy Cross, it gets a little bit easier. They have a weekend series coming up against Georgia, who's ranked in like, but they don't. Okay. Yeah, they play like Towson or something like that coming up. Towson. You get it.
Towson's a good school.
You get it.
Right? Yeah.
They got Wichita on the schedule.
Actually, Wichita is they were he scored 21 runs in an inning, about 20 years ago.
Wichita State.
Look.
Yeah, Wichita State.
When that type of shit's going on, like, can you throw up past this tweet again? Because at some point in this situation, probably after, let's say, maybe fielder's choice, maybe that second double down it, like, we just got to start a fight. we can't let you run 23. You get to 12, 13. All right, we looking at who's going to start this fight and get 4 of us thrown out.
Yeah, let's get this game canceled. Let's get it disqualified at least.
It's crazy because they open up the season against Auburn, who's ranked in the top 25, and they beat them.
Yeah.
That's the thing about baseball, though. Whenever those mitts get dry and those arms get cold, you can get 23 hung on you real quick. What'd you say? Is there a run rule? There should be.
I think I believe after 7 innings there is, but this was in the second inning. This was early. So we still got a lot of ball to play to kind of scratch and claw.
When we're younger, there's a 10-run rule, but yeah.
Shout out to the Atlantic 10. Thank you for having electrifying baseball.
How long do you think that inning was?
A long time.
Hour and a half.
We 5x'd it, I think, speed-wise.
Yes.
And we 3x'd it. It was like 3 minutes long still.
And that's still just like that's just like cut up live action.
Yeah.
That's not like the pitcher getting the ball back, going back, and be like, Jesus Christ, I've thrown 4 straight balls. I need to take a fucking lap around the mound here, pick up the rosin bag, toss it around, do whatever. Like pitch change. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Mound
guys
visit.
getting warmed up, mound visit. Like it was probably at least an hour and a half, if not longer.
That's exactly what baseball's looking for. Hour and a half long inning.
Yeah.
Just slow it down.
Half inning.
Especially with a bunch of singles and hit by pitches and four pitch walks.
I saw the 7 people in the crowd. They had to think to themselves, holy shit, is this a record?
Oh,
or
you
something?
kidding
It
me?
is.
Out there, too. It's probably like 40 degrees and windy as shit. Like, just miserable weather.
That guy in the blue jacket's like, he had never seen anything like this before. He fired off so many texts. I think like 7 in probably. They're like, got good inning going right now. 15 in, you should see what's going on right now. We got 20 fucking runs. I think we got 20 runs. Looks over. 23 runs. He's sending texts, I assume. There's some bafflement, I would assume, from everybody around baseball about this. And
This is the one.
Yep.
What are you doing throwing a second with a guy?
You just don't see that typically, in D1 college baseball.
3 guys just sprinting for a ball in the outfield there. I assume 2 of them
Cops.
could be elsewhere.
Tough look.
Yeah.
You know who went to Holy Cross?
Who's that?
Bob Cousy.
All right, let's get out of here. Bob Cousy, what an innovator.
One of the goats. Hey, just know this. There ain't no Braun without Bob Cousy.
Okay.
Bingo.
Nobody would have thought of it. Nobody would have thought it. If this guy didn't put the ball in between his legs or do a no-look pass, nobody would have ever thought of it.
Nobody. One of the goats.
Nobody. Yeah, that's what they say. Cousy!
Love you, Coos.
Those behind-the-back passes were pretty legit, though.
How about this one?
His game has aged well.
Yeah, it has. He had a couple touch passes.
Still don't think he ever worked on his offhand dribbling, that's for sure.
Yeah, he was working on hook shots.
Yeah, bro.
That's all he was doing with his left hand.
He didn't need it.
Yeah, because remember, everybody just did this number here. So whenever he went here, I mean, he already had the...
People shit.
Yeah, checkmate, brother. Checkmate. Fucking over here. And then whenever he got over here, he's like, well, now it's in this hand. I got to do something special with it. He's like, fucking hook.
Hook it.
He got the left-handed hook.
What year was this? What years did he play?
95?
No, yeah. 55 to like 69.
Yeah, court vision.
50 to 69, around there.
I like that we're using technology to color the video,
Yeah, no, Wilt actually played a little further after Coos, and we still don't have that 100-point game. So
interesting.
Yeah, pretty good quality here.
Yeah. Oh! Swing!
He didn't. That was a no look out of Coos.
Shannon Coos, love you, Coos.
A lot of suits and ties in that audience. I like that. I respect that.
Expensive
cigarette smoke too, probably.
Oh yeah.
I'm forcing Coos left.
Yeah, no, you're
all
doing
day.
shit.
I am forcing him
Good
left.
luck.
Yeah, right. Coos is fucking going behind the back on you so quick, like hot sauce.
Yeah, I'm forcing him. Left-handed dribble. I need to see it.
He's throwing it off your forehead like the professor, brother.
How do you got a left-handed hook and not a left-handed dribble?
Foxy thinks
because you don't need it, bro.
He had a left hand. He just didn't need it against these bums.
Bang, look at that scoop. Yeah, scoop to my look.
Oh.
That's a left.
That was left.
You like that?
How about
There's a lefty dribble
and one. Oh my God, Coos is a dog.
Dude, Coos is one of the goats. I'm serious. Look at that.
So this is what I've been saying this entire time.
Lefty. That was a lefty dribble right there.
He did do 2 dribbles there with the left hand. Oh, shit. There's one.
Bill
There's
Russell
2.
blocked.
There's 3.
Slapping at it.
There's 3.
He just had one.
All right, thanks, Coos.
Love you, Coos.
This just cements the fact that basketball has evolved so much that if we were to compare people that played basketball back in the day to people playing basketball now, it's a stupid argument.
To any sport.
Got to compare.
Any sport.
It's any sport.
Anything.
Yeah.
Everything evolves.
Yeah.
So shout out to Coos and the boys, for doing all the work to get the NBA to where it is now.
Bingo.
And on the same though, like you always say, like guys could transcend. Like you put LeBron with, yeah, exactly. You put Kuz in the NBA now, like he's still averaging 25.
Tyrese maybe not the
exactly
the assist god,
right?
Yeah, he's looking up at Bob Cousy,
and Bob Cousy's actually giving a right hand for sure.
He was original white chocolate
to lift up Tyrese. What's that?
Cousy was original white chocolate.
Oh yeah, they called him what they called him, Milk Hershey's or Hershey's Milk or something.
Mm-hmm. I don't think they. No, I don't think they did that.
Really?
No mentions of chocolate.
50s.
Really?
Yeah, those are some old times, man.
What was the documentary called? We Don't Like Each Other?
Nah, I forget what the doc's called, but it's good.
You don't want me to watch it?
No. I absolutely want you to because it's just a big Celtics suck fest. So it's basically about how cool the Boston Celtics are. But boy, oh boy. Some bad times back then. I'm glad I live in this era.
Well, that's Boston.
They did hire the first black coach in major sports.
Oh yeah, and they drafted a lot of the first black players. So like, absolutely, there were racist people in Boston. To Tony's point, but there were a lot of racist people all over the place.
In a lot of cities.
And Boston was more so like the most forward-thinking NBA.
Which is why we can never forget we're in a good spot. Let's keep getting better. We're not perfect, but we can work towards it. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. We're in this thing together. Team on me. Team on 3. 1, 2, 3. Team. Whoa. We got some breaking news. At the buzzer.
At the buzz.
Okay. Wow.
Buzzer beater, not in the midday news. Buzzer beater. Zack Baun has signed back with the Philadelphia Eagles, including with $34 million guaranteed at signing. 3 years, $51 million. $1.5 million in escalators possible. That means he's getting most of his money. The contract instantly makes Baun one of the highest paid linebackers in the NFL. Zack Baun goes from being a special teamer, a guy that isn't on the field much for the Saints, goes up to Philadelphia, becomes an absolute dog for the Super Bowl champions, and they give him money. Congrats to Zack Baun finding the right spot for him. And Vic Fangio said, listen, Zach, you can do whatever you want to do, including maybe even be a finalist for Defensive Player of the Year, which is exactly what he did with this Eagles team. What a perfect fit for a squad. What a perfect fit for a scheme. And what a guy getting paid off for all of his hard work in an incredible season for the Johns in Philly. They pay Saquon whenever they didn't have to. They pay Zack Baun whenever there's no way Zach thought this was what his future was going to look like in his NFL career with how it was going. Congrats to him. Congrats to the Eagles. Howie's making some plays, D-Bud.
Making some plays. And shout out to Zack Baun, man. Everybody's career is different. Everybody's journey is different. You talked about it being a special teamer, being a guy that played on the edge, and then you get your real first opportunity to be an off-ball linebacker and break the bank. And this is a position kind of similar to running back and safety for a while, got devalued for a little bit. So I'm glad he got his money in the prime of his career, the real cornerstone of that Vic Fangio defense going forward.
AJ, what are your thoughts on Zack Baun, the linebacker, as the all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers?
You know, what I loved about Zack Baun, obviously he started out the year, and we heard about him throughout the regular season, how great he was, but this dude, like, even elevated above that for the playoffs. Like, when things mattered in the playoffs and the Super Bowl, the dude continued to step up over and over again. So that's why, like, what a great, like, it's funny how the timing must work with him. Like, obviously he feels good physically, feels good mentally, and then he gets to the Eagles in this scheme for whatever reason. Obviously this is what suits him very well, and the dude made plays every single week. So that's why football's awesome, man. Like, you do this, you get rewarded. Like, that. Hey, if you go above and beyond of what we may have thought, like, you're going to go be paid one of the highest paid linebackers in the NFL, which, yeah, tell him that a year and a half ago. You think he believes it?
Absolutely not. It's a meritocracy. It's a beautiful thing. Congrats to Zach. You're a Super Bowl champion and a wealthy man. Philadelphia Eagles keep one of their own.
Oh, yeah.
All right, with that being said, be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change your life. We're in this thing together. Team on me. Team on 3. 1, 2, 3. Team. Goodbye.